Hello, my biddies. How are you? How was your weekend? Mine was okay. My husband's sick. I come home Friday and he said his throat hurt. And I'm like, oh, great, you're getting sick. He says, I'm not sick. Saturday, he woke up achy as heck. Blamed it on work because he was painting Thursday and Friday. So he blamed it on that. But he wasn't sick. He had a sore throat, coughing, sneezing, congested, but he wasn't sick. Finally, on Sunday, when we got up, he's like, I think I'm sick. And we still went to his to the little one's little wrestling tournament. He did pretty good. He won two, he lost two. If you lose two, you're out. Um, but he was, he's only four, and some of these kids are as old as six. So he did really well considering. He's the sweetest little loser. He loses, he hops over to the other team and high fives the coaches like they're told to do. Um, and he skips over to his own coach and skips out of the arena. He didn't get disappointed until he learned he was not going to get a prize. So he did get a gift. They're over gifting him, if you ask me, but hey, that's just me. But he did really good. He got some Transformers he was really happy with. And then so he probably, I don't know. I haven't looked up where he came in at. I should do that. But he was rated sixth in the state, which is pretty good out of like 10 or 9, 10, 11 kids. Um, for a 6-year-old who's been wrestling since January, that's pretty dang good. And he did really good. He won two bouts and lost two. Won one on points, which is the first time he's done that. That last one, I think he got pinned in like 8 seconds. It's okay. The kid was like 6 years old and he was a tank. So he probably weighed 38 pounds or 30, 28, 38, 38. The 20s or 30s. I can't remember. I can't remember the weight things. Oh, I can look it up. Hold on just a second. I can look it up. I'm bad about remembering number stuff. Nope, that's not that. Yeah, it's 30. So it's 4 to 6-year-olds, 37 pounds and under, but but they have because they grow so fast, they have a 1 pound leeway. So it's 37 and under, but that can be 38 pounds. And that kid, I swear he was a tank. He wasn't very tall for a 6-year-old. But he was hefty and he just plowed him down. It's okay. It's okay. They're there to have fun. And he did good. And next year when he has uh, when he's done the whole thing, he only started in January. So I think next year is going to be really good. And then the year after that, little one can start. Um, is that on my, okay, it's just, I thought my cord was getting coming undone, but it looks like it's just stuff on there. I don't know what, probably food. Food would be my guess, but I'm not sure. The little one, the little one's me. He's adorable. and he's sweet, but he's gonna also be mean, and he gets mad, and the older one does not get mad very easy. So that one's gonna be the real one. This is all because there's great uncle on the other side of the family, on their mom's side, um, is really into wrestling. So that's the only reason they're doing this at all. That's the only reason they got into it, but it's been fun. It's really boring. Because we waited 2 hours between one of his bouts. Got there. Well, they started late. They didn't start till almost 10, and we were there until 3. It was a long day. And if he would have, like, done better, because they give out 4 awards. I call it the pewter award because in skating, you have gold, silver, bronze, and pewter. So I always call 4th place pewter, like, to the figure skating. And they do give out pewter awards, and, like, they don't do it at Olympics or Worlds, but they do it at nationals. So, yeah, I call him, but he didn't get pewter, so that's okay. But that's okay. But they do give out um, a pewter medal. I don't think they do medals there. I think they get. Well, I saw one girl walking around with a giant trophy. Also, one girl got her arm broke, like broke. Like they said, the other girl pulled her arm back and then I don't know, like wrenched it or something. She went away in an ambulance. I didn't see it because the older kids were in another area. They had 2 arenas. So we were in one arena that had like 18, 18 mats. And then there was a whole other arena with the older kids. And I think she was at least 12. Like, ow. There might have been one other kid got a broken arm. You don't hear a lot of wrestling injuries, like mostly nosebleeds. You might pull a muscle or something. But breaking an arm like that, ooh, holy cow. Poor kid. Then another kid was supposed to wrestle the girl that did that. They're like, "Oh no, you're not wrestling her. We disqualified her." Oh, so that's a shame. Like, don't be mean to people. Like, don't like, yeah, that'll be BW for sure. He'll get mad. He already beats up his brother. He's a little tank too. He's big for his age, and he's kind of tanky. So, so yeah, fun times. I got hangry. The WB or BW fell asleep at one point, and he took a long nap. But they had been there since 5. He took a long nap. He had not fallen asleep in public on somebody in a long time, but he was exhausted. I'm sure. Poor little guy. But he took a long, big nap, and then we started counting all the kids that were asleep. Oh, there were a lot of them. There were a lot of little babies sleeping at that moment. And then later on, one of the bigger kids fell asleep in the stands. They weren't wrestling. Um, I think most of the kids from his club were there, but anybody that didn't qualify didn't wrestle. So, um, yeah, we're proud of him. He did good. He did good, little boy. It was a long day. They got there at 5 o'clock in the morning. They had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah. And that was Sunday. Saturday we sat around because Bubba wasn't feeling good, but he wasn't sick. He only has a fever. His fever's 99.6, but for us that's a fever because all of us in our family have low temperatures, like, and uh almost a whole degree lower than normal temperatures. So yeah, he's feeling it. I'd feel it too if I was had that fever. I am so hoping that what he has, I had 2 weeks ago. So hoping because I do not want to be sick again. So if I disappear, I'm sick again. Just saying. Just saying. be sick again. I'm so sick and tired of being sick. So sick and tired of being sick all the time. And the weather's nuts. Have you had a blizzard? Apparently, Wisconsin had a blizzard yesterday. And I saw a thing from Traverse City just now, just just a few minutes ago. Um, I think they were talking about the snow yesterday, but it is snowing today, so maybe it was today. I can't remember. Um, and they're going, I just got an alert that we're having 3 feet of snow. We're having 3 inches, right? They're wrong, right? No, we've already had 2 feet. Definitely getting three. I had like 3 feet of snow in 24 hours. Fun times, I'm telling you. Oh, and we also had a tornado already. So, like, it's crazy out here. The wind, we've had several days where there's a wind warning for like 5 hours or 6 hours or 12 hours or whatever. And then it goes away. And then we have another, the next day, we have another wind warning. I forgot if we're under wind warning right now. We might be. Um, this one gives me, it's only 20 degrees, 21. So it's cold as heck. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're in a wind warning right at the moment. Um, so it's cold as heck. It's supposed to be 65 by Friday. It was above 60 on Sunday. It's insanity. No wonder we're sick. Also, my husband definitely got this when he was in Kalamazoo because my son had already had it at that point for 2 weeks. But his employee that was working with them, Jimmy, his name is Jimmy, he was also sick. And where he lives, not too far away from here, but up north a little bit north of us, they had a ice storm Sunday, Sunday into Monday, and he's sick with the same thing my husband sounds like the same thing my husband has. And he lost power, so I feel bad for him. So my son was taking him I guess he didn't need the he said at first it was a generator, but I heard him talking later and it sounds like he just needed a cord for the generator. So he took him up a cord. This is what my son does for his employees slash friends family. Jimmy's been a good worker, so it's hard to find good workers, especially when you're doing contract, physical labor. Um, some of y'all should do some of that. He pays them $20 an hour. They're not making nothing. Doing better than they would at McDonald's or someplace like that. So so anyway, what else? Oh, Monday the boys were over. They spent maybe an hour and a half in the basement, which usually that's where they stay all day. So Bubba's home. And Bubba was home because Bubba wasn't going to work because he's sick. So yeah, it's not good. Not good looking for Bubba. Oh, so what else? They're cute. They're so cute. We watched another Lassie movie. They were supposed to be having quiet time. It was not very quiet. The Lassie movie had a twist, like a big one. Go find the Painted Heels. It's on Tubi, so it's free. It'll be under the Painted Hills, or you can do Lassie and the Painted Hills, and it'll come up. But it's not Lassie. It's Shep. It's based on some book called Shep and the Painted Hills, and they actually call the dog Shep, even though it's Lassie. It's weird. It's so weird. There's a big twist in it. You should see it. It's good. It's a good twisty movie for little kids. There's a lot of violence in it. At one point, the bad guy pushes the good guy. Hint, hint. off a cliff, but they only show it in shadow. Very clever. Very, very clever. All right, I guess we'll get into it now. It's been a whole 15 minutes I've been babbling. Anybody got any comments or anything? No, I didn't think so. All right. Well, we'll start with Traumatize Them Back, entitled Hurricane in a Butterfly Net. And it's flared blunt force traumatize them back. So here's the thing. 39 female, thanks to PCOS and paternal genetics, a lot of women on my father's side of the family deal with this mess, and I take after that side heavily. Have long and heavy monthly fun time. Oh, girl, same. I'm not even sure I had the PCOS. I was never diagnosed with that. I didn't realize there was a genetic factor until I vented to my paternal grandmother when I was in my early 30s, and she told me that her sisters, and several other families members dealt with the same mess. I've started perimenopause, hot flashes, but still get my rag. Honey, let me tell you, menopause in this cases like this, best thing since sliced bread. I'm telling you right now. Anyway, I blew a good chunk of money on the things I need for that hellish week. Giant purple pad since my cervix won't do this or cups. I also work retail in a dollar store. Ugh. Thankfully, when it was really, really bad, I was a stay-at-home mom. I couldn't have worked. There is no way I could have worked. By the time I went back to work, I was in deep perimenopause. So a girl comes to the store with her boyfriend. She's clearly younger, buys snacks and cleaning supplies. Halfway through raining? Halfway through raining, and I think she meant ringing, like ringing her up. I think that's what she meant. You know what? I don't have. Yeah, that's better. She tells them they need to stop at Target or Walgreens or CVS for supplies. I say nothing and continue ringing. Yeah, okay. But this poor girl's boyfriend throws a hissy and is all, OMG, why do we have to go there? Just get it here. She's embarrassed, clearly. And I want to tell her there's nothing to be embarrassed about. If anyone needed to be embarrassed, it was him. Considering he made a grossed out face like somebody gave him a plate of roadkill. Don't get involved with men like this. If somebody is grossed out by a perfectly normal bodily function like this, I mean, it's fine to be grossed out by the results, but if they're grossed out at just the thought of it, don't. Don't. He's not mature enough. He's not mature enough to have a relationship with somebody. Then Grandmaster douchebag goes and says, WTF, we just get that gross crap here. She goes, it's not enough. He starts to get irritated and demand why. And me, petty, am feeling some kind of way over my own situation and watching some tool who'll never have to deal with it, entering midlife crisis bitch that I am, says, go to the toy aisle, get a butterfly net, and try to catch a hurricane with it. Considering how that goes, come back for her if you can. He was pissed and embarrassed. Girl was shocked and happy and mildly embarrassed. Me, I'm dealing with a truckload of mess outside of this, so I could just took the win. Midlife crisis and all that. I want to tell her to dump the clown, but they left before I could. Seriously, he is not mature enough to have a relationship with anyone. Anyone. So until he grows, just not date. Virtual Chocolate says, I bought pads and tampons and never thought a second thought as a boyfriend, husband, and dad. In my single days, I kept a small supply on hand in case it was needed by a visiting friend. Nobody gets icked out when it's time to buy toilet paper, and that's actually gross. Never understood guys that freaked out about stuff or hold a purse for that matter, but then I lean into it. So it brings out my brown in my eyes. This guy is mature. See, you should have a relationship with Virtual Chocolate. He's an actual adult. My kids bought stuff for their sister and I when they were as soon as they could drive, they were buying stuff. Never bothered them because we never talked about it being gross or whatever in the house. It was just something that was done, and it was obvious because I was not feeling well when that time of the month came. Mommy did not feel good, and then sister did not feel good. So they knew what was going on. They're not dumb. Maybe, I mean, maybe some men are dumb, but my boys were not dumb. My husband's not dumb. My sisters, he knew what the deal was when he was a little kid. I hope he says, "You, I like you." Me too, OP, me too. Um, a comment or answer from Rikama says, "Remember, guys, the most manly thing is to not give a wang. I never understood how these manly men types will jump up on a chair and scream if they see a wrapped used tampons on the floor and consider it a manly reaction. It's not because those type of men, those men that are manly, manly, I'm a man, men are insecure in their manhood. That's why they act like that because they're not real men. They're little babies." Ariel Farr says my ex husband freaked out that I left an unused wrapped in the plastic pad on the bed. He's like, "Get your tampon on the bed. How long have you lived with me and you're calling it a tampon? And WTF, it's clean." It's a pad. He doesn't even know the nomenclature. What an idiot. Evie the Fox says, "Gaudy sounds so toxic. Agreed. Poor girl needs to dump his misogynistic ass." 100%. And OP answers, "She does. They're regulars, and I'm hoping the next time I see either of them, either he's griping over being dumped or she's prancing over dumping. The latter is better, but I'll take what I can get." Spitfire Jones says, "Girl, I feel you. I need like a mattress sized pad. I can't find them big enough here in New Zealand." Girl, same. Not anymore, thank goodness. Not for a long time. Yeah, like nearly 20 years. Over 15. Over 15 years. Thank goodness. Oh, it was horrible. Recently gave birth, and the pads you give you in the hospital are legit perfect size for my flow, so I made sure to bring as many home as I could. So when my rage starts again, I'm sorted out for a couple of months at least. Thank you for standing up to the other girl. Genuinely don't get it. And that guy seemed like a total idiot. I have endometriosis and can relate. Necessary Zebra says that she has friends who use adult diapers. I was almost at that point. I was almost at that point. Adult diapers are evidently comfy and absorb heaps. So, yeah. So, there's your advice for today if you are one of those gals that have a heavy period. Hopefully you don't also feel like you have the flu every month like I did. Bad. So bad. So glad it's over. Sorry guys, I mean, it shouldn't be squeaked out because you're real men, right? You're real men. You're not squeaked out by normal, natural functions of the human body, even if it's not your human body, because you shouldn't be. Next is What Should I Do? And it's entitled, My Coworker Thinks I Bought Him a Concert Ticket, but I didn't. This is weird. My coworker, Dan, has been droning on and on about this concert he wants to go to for several weeks, but the tickets were over $200 each and he couldn't afford one. I'm going to jump topics here, but this is relevant, I promise. My Venmo name is an alias. It comes up as Tony R. I do this because I sell on Marketplace and using a male name because Dan knows that I use this Venmo as he sent money to me to pick up lunch for him before. Go back to the concert. Early last night, he calls me just wigging out because I sent him a concert ticket in his email. I explained that I had not. He sent me screenshots that Tony Brown had sent him one concert ticket from Ticketmaster, and he thinks it's me because of my Venmo alias. Okay, first of all, you're Tony R, not Tony B. I explained that it's not me. He knows no one by that name, and neither do I. I tell him it has to be a scam, and he's not. It's not. He contacted Ticketmaster. I keep denying. He starts getting upset because he doesn't get why I just don't admit it so he can thank me, and tells me if I want to keep playing games, he's not going to go, and he's dead serious. Okay, don't go. Don't go. I don't care if you go or not. I did not send you that ticket. Am I going to the concert? Maybe not. But I didn't send you that ticket, even if I'm going. Whether I'm going or not, I did not send you that ticket, sir. I would not spend $200 on a coworker. I don't know what to do at this point. I don't want him to miss out on a concert he's been going to, so I lie. I apologize for messing around, tell him to have a good time. He goes, had a blast, nothing weird happens, and no Tony Brown appears or takes credit for the ticket. That's so bizarre. Who just gifts $200 concert tickets out of the blue? The only people who knew he wanted to go to this concert were his coworkers and his parents. It was not his parents, and I can't give him a ticket or have his personal email besides me. Now I'm at a total loss. I didn't do this. I think he thinks I did. I'm super confused on who did. And if I try to tell him the truth, then again, he'll think I'm lying. And who can blame him? I say I didn't, then I say I did, then I say I didn't again. I wouldn't believe me either. But the guilt of the lie is eating me alive. What should I do? Oh, let it go. Let it go. Just let him think you're a nice person. Maybe he'll do something nice for you in return. Maybe he'll do something nice for you thinking that you got him that ticket. But who got him the ticket? It's a giant mystery. Can somebody figure out who got him the ticket? Because I want to know. I want to know who's just gifting concert tickets. I could use something like that. Tanner Woo Moo says time to get a carbon monoxide detector. Only if it came out of her bank account. Did it come out of her bank account or his bank account? I don't know. No, she said she was a girl. Did the money come out of her bank account? I think she would know that $200 was spent out of her account, so I don't think that. How long this meme has persisted, these posts were insane at times, but it's true. Uljam Malari says it happened again relatively recently, where there was a good chance that it had, can't quite remember. In any case, it's always both good advice and a good meme. Deep deficit, it says, funny fuzzy memory, huh? You might want to go get your. Oh, that's funny. Kiana didn't get the joke. She says, "R/that's the joke." And sleep deficits says exactly. Snoo Cauliflower says maybe someone wanted to gift it to him and unanimously, and he mentioned you use a Venmo alias, so they used that, so he'd think it was you and not them. Another option, he's a bit of a creep and bought it himself, but wanted to cause this mystery as a way to try to talk to you and make some sort of connection. He ends up thanking you, and you feel it's not deserved, so try subconsciously to make it up to him through guilt. She says that's a reasonable theory, but they talk all the time, so it's not that. Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. Next, we have malicious compliance, and it is entitled HR training leads to me getting. Post remind me of the story I thought I'd share. I work for a major grocery chain. For the most part, they are locked on following labor laws properly, but every once in a while, they don't know what they're talking about. Before this job, I had been general manager of a high volume brew pub, and before that, I was a general manager of a 14-screen cinema. So I know the labor laws pretty well, as both my previous jobs were drowning in labor and employee relations. A while back, we had a mandatory training for leadership about proper call-out procedures for our HR asked all the department managers, what do you do if they text you? I said, ignore the text. HR said, no, you need to tell them to call out or call in online. Call our it. Ugh. HR said, no, you need to tell them to call out our call out line. No wonder I couldn't say that. Let them know they need to leave their name, employee ID, and their shift. And I said, do I have to? And they said, yes. Uh, Me, okay, but would you email us this information after the class? And they did. About 3 months later, I had a new employee somehow get my phone number, which bothered me, but that's another story, and text me that they couldn't make it the next day. I texted back, call the call out line, leave your name, employee number, and shift. The next day, when I was at work, I put a timekeeper request for an hour of labor. This also happened on Wednesday, in a week where was my only day off. Where I live, if you work even a single minute off the clock, the company is obliged to pay you for that hour. In addition, because I was scheduled 6 days already, that counted as another day of the week. So my entire Sunday shift was time and a half, as was 7 days in a row during the full Monday through Sunday work week. About a week later, I was called into HR to discuss what they claimed was me abusing the system, and they wanted to write me up for it because that one text resulted in $200 of extra money on my paycheck, 40-hour wage. So 8 hours at time and a half is 160 plus the 40 on Wednesday. Let them know that they were the ones who told me to work on my time off, and that if they wanted to punish me for it, they could see me in court and they'd pay a heck of a lot more. Then I reminded them of the email they sent telling us in detail that what we were to do if an employee texted us to call out. I told them that I value my work-life balance, and even a minute of work is still work, and I expect to be paid for each moment of work that I do. They said, okay, I'll have to call the director of HR and discuss this, but we'll get back to you. They never got back to me, but my paycheck was straight for the period. And a week later, they sent out a follow up email telling leadership to let their teams know they weren't to text the managers off the clock, and that if an issue arose, they could call the store and the store could decide if it was important enough to contact us on our day off. My time is my time, and I'm getting paid for it. Amen. Amen. Thankfully for them, at least, they never tried to retaliate over it. Sad for me, I wasn't bluffing when I said I'm not afraid to talk to a lawyer. Would have been a good payout. Run says, rule number one for life. If someone asks, can you repeat it, but written somewhere, think again about what you just said. That's right. Could you put that in writing, please? I would like that in writing, if you don't mind. Mother Goose, so true. My husband used to work for a large telephone company. He was frequently asked to do something that went against policy or was downright illegal. His standard response was put that in an email to me. He usually never heard anything about it again. Big Papa Pagan says, I had a manager, most short-lived manager I've ever had as an adult, who would regularly make requests verbally, then fire off emails for our team following the verbal requests, which is what they should do. After enough times, I asked him to, as his verbal request often A, disregarded the company policy, and B, exposed flagrant ignorance of our field, and C, oftentimes involved activity that broke federal law. Guess who was defeated each time higher manager had to get involved? Most differential also answers, I usually just send a confirmation email that started with, please add what I missed and correct what I misunderstood, which of course gives them the chance to correct or confirm the email. The default is to ignore the email, and then my version of reality becomes documented and enforceable. Good idea. Yeah, you should also write it down. Contemporaneous notes, they're considered evidence in court. So if you're having any issues, I mean any minor issues, start a log. Start a log and then keep the log. And then when push comes to shove, you'll have the log, and that will hold you up very well. If anybody is worth their salt, and if not, you can sue if you have to. Oh. So we have Evil Buildings, and it's entitled Hamburger Flak Turn the Fourth Mitt Bergen Fraud Hamburg Flak Tower the Fourth with Mountain Path. Okay, I probably mispronounced every word in the first part of that. It says pics taken 7, and I'm like, it's not July because I'm a dumb American. No, it's the 7th of February. 2026. How Americans do their um, dates is wrong, by the way. It is wrong. But here is the mountain. Or four with mountain. It has a mountain. It is a mountain. I don't think it's evil. I think it's kind of cool, actually. You can go up there and take a walk amongst the trees. I'm betting. People are walking up there, as you can see. There's people right there. Um, I'm thinking that the other part of the up is on the other side of the building, because otherwise, how would you get up here? There's this, which is from an entrance inside. Maybe go in here and then you have to come back out. I don't know. I don't know anything about this building. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's what the little one says. I'm so sorry. He's so cute. Is he doing the other? Oh, that's what he was doing. So we have quiet time in which we watch a movie, which I told you about the movie already. Um, and he was over there babbling to himself. He doesn't babble anymore. He's actually saying words, but he was babbling. And so I went, and I wish I would have gotten a picture for it of it because he did it back to me, and he was so cute. Oh my goodness. I'll have to get him to do it again so I can take a picture of him because he's adorable. Michigan Accident says this might be the most interesting building we've seen on Reddit so far. I heard about flat towers and still being there, but I had no idea these massive fortresses existed and are repurposed. The one in Vienna has been transformed to an aquarium with a rooftop restaurant. um, Angela Urkel says, I'm from there. Been in this building, not Ben, honey. Been in this building for events more than 20 times. Suicide Boys concert in 2018 was the best. There are many event rooms inside, and you can go to the top. She keeps putting a V for a C, and it's really annoying me. There are many events rooms inside, and you can go to the top where there is a hotel and a chance to smoke. Yeah. With a view of Hamburg. The view of Hamburg. What is that supposed to mean? It's very popular for rap and techno events, and even more green right now. Was something. Maybe they meant a lot of plants and trees on top of it and on the roofs. OM Nay says for breakfast we have a cigarette. Flomo says, what about second breakfast? BW? Second breakfast all the time. I think he has third breakfast in my house sometimes. Because he'll get up at 4 and need a full breakfast, and then he'll need another one at 8, and then he's at my house by 10, sometimes 9, and then he's wanting applesauce. Or what else does he like? Applesauce or berries or chocolate. He's also a chocolate boy. Smart Cry says answers to what about second breakfast? Chocolate bar. So cigarettes first breakfast, chocolate second breakfast. I think it looks cool. I don't think it looks evil at all. I don't know what it was used for originally. I didn't see that there. Next, we have AITAH. AITAH for telling my sister I don't have the looks to sleep my way to the top after she called me a DEI hire. Wow. Rude sister. Sorry, OP, you have this jerk for a sister. I had traumatic brain injury as a child. It left me with some physical impairments as well as slurred speech. My sisters always thought I used my condition to get extra attention from our parents and at school. My sister married her boss. I believe they did everything right in the HR, and she was transferred to a different office. He had no direct control over her employment. Well, so I said, OP's giving her sister the benefit of a doubt. I've worked for my dad since I got out of university. It works for me because I didn't have to interview and I can have lunch with the boss sometimes. At work, we have a professional relationship and I don't take advantage. I mean, just getting the job is kind of taking advantage, but it's okay. Nepotism happens everywhere. Everywhere. My son has gotten other people's jobs. He's gotten jobs from other people. And my older son, his whole job is nepotism because it's word of mouth. Nepotism isn't just family, it's also friends. I was recently headhunted by a company my dad does business with. They were impressed with the level of work that was coming out of our shop. I talked to my dad about it, and he said he would be sad to see me go, but the next step up his company was his job, and he wasn't going anywhere, so I had his blessing. Good dad. Where's my flags? Oh no, my flags are missing. Where are my flags at? Oh, I don't have my flags. Oh, there they are. I found them. Okay. And I just got dropped my glasses, which are already scratched, by the way. I gotta get new glasses. I was supposed to get new glasses when COVID started, and I still haven't gotten new glasses. I hate any doctor. It's uncomfortable. Green flags for dad, because that's exactly what he should be doing. And then she can come back and later and have all the experience she got at their company and all the experience she got at other company or companies, and she'll do an even better job than dad did. So green flags for dad. Good job. I accepted the job, and my dad threw me a going away party. Oh, that's nice. All of the employees were invited, and family and friends. My sister was there with her family. It was a great time until she decided to pop up that my accident helped me get ahead, that I was a DEI hire and only got the job because I checked off so many spots on the checklist. No, no. If they're recruiting her from outside of from they're poaching her actually. They're poaching her from her family business? No. That's not a DEI hire, sweetheart. And even if it was, she's perfectly qualified for the job. That doesn't mean you're not qualified for the job just because they want to diversify their employees. That's good for the company to diversify. The more voices you have, the better. I always knew how she felt about mom and dad giving me so much of their time after the accident, but they never ignored her. She got extracurriculars. They went to most of her events at school. They helped pay for her education. I fully acknowledge there's more to parenting, but in my point of view, they did their best. I just didn't realize that she thought I got special treatment because of my condition. No company that I know of would hire me for the job if I wasn't good enough at it. They could be throwing money away. Exactly. And companies don't do that. I was furious that she would say this in public. If she had said privately, we could have talked it out, but she wanted public, so I said what I said. Her husband's face went red and she was speechless. Her kids looked confused, and I felt bad when I saw my niece's reaction to what I said. My sister and his family left the party. My dad came over and said that I should have taken the high road and that she was very sensitive about her relationship still. Well, that's too bad for her. Honestly, I feel bad about what I said. It wasn't fair and it wasn't true. What did you say? You don't say what you said. She hasn't called me or accepted any calls from me in over a week. Oh well, her loss. Ruby Yaya says if dad didn't immediately say sister and react verbal shock, he had lost the opportunity to have handled it in any way he thought it should be handled. He said in front of former work colleagues and potentially those your new boss could have communication with. If he didn't deal with her jealousy and hangups as a teen like he should have, she wouldn't have been empowered to make such a comment. Exactly. She needs therapy. She needs to get over herself. Yeah, sometimes you have someone in the family that needs a little extra attention. Okay, people are different. Even if you don't have that, people are going to perceive stuff differently. My sister still has second child syndrome, I swear. Middle child syndrome. She thinks that she never got anything, and me and my sister got everything. She complains that she wasn't allowed to do things when I was allowed to do them, like go on a date. 4 years older than her. Like, she got to do So things that I got to do when I turned 16, she got to do when she was 14. So I did not want to hear about it. I tell her that every time she starts complaining that I got to do everything first. Well, yeah, I got to do everything first. I was the first child. Hello. Regal Gana says, Abigail, you apologize your sister now or you'll have to leave, I'm afraid. Nat G answers, honestly, he should have asked her to leave immediately. They were at a party to celebrate OP's tenure and success at his company. Treating the interaction like a childhood spat instead of a pointed professional insult wouldn't do the OP any favors. You wouldn't like it. Answers, even if OP did use her injury to her advantage, good on her. Life's hard enough, and OP sounds like she's playing on hard mode. Exactly. Winteride says, NTA, don't start none. There won't be none. She could have avoided the sharp retaliation if she didn't put a petty accusation out there at first. She's not a victim. She's just bitter that she can't put you down with impunity. Original Ganache answers something something glass houses and stones. Catmo answers agreed. And also the sister's insult was a dumb position to take. In reality, who gives a rat's ass if OP was a DEI hire? It doesn't affect OP's sister or anyone else at that party. It also doesn't automatically mean OP was any less qualified or less skilled than anyone else. She couldn't have been less qualified or less skilled, but they recruited her. She didn't ask for a job. They came and said, yo, we appreciate your work. We appreciate what you're doing. We know you're a good hard worker. Come work for us. That's not a DEI hire in any way, shape, or form. It's crazy. Also, it doesn't automatically mean OP is any less qualified or less skilled than anyone else. You can both be a DEI hire and super talented in your role and an amazing asset to a new team. Win-win for the company. I understand what sister was heavily implying. I'm just saying her point could easily have be argued against and refuted. And that doesn't make what she said so inappropriate. It was the intent behind her saying it. She was out for blood with this one. It is 100% clear that she said it with the sole purpose of publicly demeaning, embarrassing, and insulting and flat out bullying OP. She threw out the gloves first and a sucker punched OP. OP didn't start the fight, nor did she throw the first punch. All she did was make sure she stood up for herself and ended it. Mainly Sideburns answers that, saying, seriously insane, just be happy for your sibling, the Wang. Third most uprated comment is from Meek's Soul Hunter. And she says, I have a sister just like yours. I don't get into why or how, but over the years I've learned to ignore when I don't have to talk to her. You might have hit the nail on the head when you said when it comes to your sister, because one, before anything started, they went to their company HR and she was transferred to a different office. Not one person goes to HR because they think something is going to start with a colleague. Two, don't let anyone dim your success. Congratulations, NTA. Yeah. We got off on a tangent on there because of the other commenter, and that's okay. That's okay. We're just here to have fun. It's all right. Next, we have Neighbors from Hell, and it is entitled, My Neighbor Keeps Accidentally Letting His Gate Slam into My Car Every Single Morning. I'm losing my mind. Absolutely not. Not cool. Not cool at all. No. No, you did not do that. So I've lived in this duplex for about 2 years, and everything were totally fine until the guy next door got a new truck last spring and started parking it right along the shared fence line between our driveways. The fence has this old wooden gate that opens outward toward where I park, and this has never been a problem because the previous tenants always just held it when they opened it. This new guy, Dave, just lets it swing. Every single morning between 6:30 and 7, I hear this bang, and I look out, and there it is. His gate just swung into the side of my car. I went over and talked to him about it twice already. The first time he apologized and seemed genuinely confused, like maybe he just never thought about it. Okay, fine. Second time I showed him an actual scratch along my door, and he said, well, I don't see how that's from my gate, and kind of shrugged it off. I started leaving earlier and to move my car before he wakes up, but that felt insane. Like, why am I rearranging my whole morning? Because he can't take 2 extra seconds to hold a gate. Last week, I started keeping a note on my phone every time it happens with the time and photo. I have 11 entries in 9 days. I knocked again yesterday, and this time he got a little aggressive about it and said I was oversensitive and that old cars get scratches. That doesn't mean you have to be making them, sir. My car's a 2021. I really don't think I want to escalate this into a full-blown thing, but I also don't know what my next step is here. I've talked to my landlord, and they just said work it out between yourselves, which is spectacularly useless advice. Okay, we're gonna work it out between ourselves. We're gonna put a pole next to our car that will prevent the gate from swinging into the car. Simple, easy. If the landlord won't do it, you can. You telling us to work this out by ourselves? This is what's being done until you talk to him. Mr. Reams says, change the hinge on the gate so that it swings the other way. I am a problem solver. Quiet Torch is the real solution. Allowed? Allowed? The landlord said do anything. They gave their permission tacitly. Ragnar's world answers allowed. Who's going to stop him? The hinge police? There's only one me says a lot hinges on it. Jumpstart set answers neighbor is unhinged. There's only one me says answers he swings both ways. Revolutionary app says and apparently like to bang the neighbor's car. Not kink shaming, but definitely questioning. Oh. I'm serious. I have to say, yeah, the hinges is a good idea if you can do that. Um, but the other idea is get a pole. Get a pole, put it up. Pseudos ambitious. Here we go. Not the real Polly Shore. Says we put a stake in the ground so our gate doesn't swing all the way. And VW Science and Art answers, yep, one bright colored piece of rebar hammered halfway into the ground would definitely fix this. Libsci says, this is a 10-foot bar that goes through the hood of his neighbor's truck. And the lovely Helga says, answers, if things don't improve, yes. Zesty Clothes Height says, just be sure not to hit a gas or water line and finding Jojo Bees put a rock down so the gate stops just before it hits your car. That's also a good possibility. A good big enough rock. Deleted says, answers bonus points if neighbor complains and OP says that rock, it's always been there. What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. Did the rock move? Must have grew legs. Operation Mobile Crazy. Mobocracy. No, Mobocracy. Okay. Mobocracy says triple bonus if the gate stop has a counter spring that causes it to slam back in the other direction. Excuse me. Misty Maga says, or sorry, Maga, no, Mixie Mage. No, we don't allow that here. Misty Mage says, I need an MS Paint picture to understand why your neighbor is even opening the gate. Shoot. I gave my ring pop to the kids. We're going to use it in case of a... Bet you there's nothing in here. Yep, empty. I don't have any candy in here anymore. I should. You know I should. No, that's out there too. Trying to think if I have any. Might have to take a break, I guess. Misty Mage says, I need an MS Paint picture to understand why your neighbor is even opening the gate. Barring that, get one of those stretchy metal things that attach to the gate tension spring so that the further the gate is open, the harder it is to push. Positive Earth answers, I haven't thought of MS Paint in years or longer. Quiet Twerp says, make a police report. You can do that. You can go straight down to the police station and make a report. I've done it myself when somebody broke into my car back in the day. It's amazing. I still go to Aldi. Quiet Twerp says, make a police report, show them your evidence. If it continues, continue to accumulate evidence with video. Complaints to your landlord also count as evidence, even if they told you to handle it yourself. Get a lawyer, sue for damages. You might even be able to do this with your insurance without a lawyer or court system. Scorp says OP could probably make a report to his own insurance company and have them go after his homeowner's insurance. His gate is the cause. With his lack of basic consideration, he should fix it. Here we go, Steelers is answers that it's negligent at this point because he knows his gate's damaging his neighbor's car and he's doing it nothing to prevent the damage. That should be your first thought right there. He's doing nothing to prevent it. He should have to pay for her. A new paint job for her car. Let's go with whole new paint. So that has to be the whole car. That'll be expensive. Sunday night, I had one so bad. I had a coughing fit so bad. I had to go to the kitchen and get a drink of water in the middle of the night. It does go away eventually, but who knows? And I forgot the dang Flonase again. I take all my other meds, forget the freaking Flonase sitting right there by it. And I know that helps. Benign Existence, and this is entitled, I thought I'd never seen our cat Slowblink until we got a kitten. Our old cat is my first cat. I thought I'd never seen him Slowblink, even though it's because he's a rescue cat and he's careful with his love. Well, we got a kitten and she Slowblinks all the time, like every time you look at her for more than a second. So now I know what a Slowblink is, and I started noticing that our old boy is happy and warm. He closes his eye halfway when he's looking at us. He's done this for years and I never noticed. I love him so much. Local Barnes says, isn't it wonderful how little things like that can happen and you may not have never known. I thought the same for my old fellow, but once I realized what a slow blink actually looked like, he does it all the time, wishing you and your old fella and your baby kitty many more snow blinks. Lunatic Deity says, so awesome to hear. I started doing the slow eye with my girls a few months ago, and my two very shy torties slowly started wanting more love from me. Keep at it, fellow cat person. Fancy Pen answers, my partner and I started doing it with our cats as well, and now we do it to each other. Don't even think about it. It just becomes natural to us. Oh, that's so cute. So cute. Found Satan, entitled Happy Birthday. Usually these are memes or posts. Mike Primavera says, on my friend's 21st birthday, we were all going out drinking. Before he left, his grandfather told him if he really wanted to drink everyone under the table, he should drink 3 shots of olive oil to coat his stomach. So he did, and as soon as we got to the bar, he crapped his pants. Oh, that's terrible. Grandpa, that's awful. Don't do that, Grandpa. That's mean. Rat Brains Inc. says, Gramps be devious for their own amusement. Seems to be a universal law. Mine once sent me to the woods to look for the neighbor's cat, which he described as black and white stripe and a bushy tail. My stupid 13-year-old self went looking until my brain went, hey, dumbass. Viper Fang says what Gramps didn't realize was right after you find that cat, the first thing you had probably done is run straight to his house and share the wealth. Tranquil Dorney answers that, look how big it is, Grandpa, and drops Animal at his feet. Difficult Soup says a natural cure for constipation. Nice, thanks for the tip. Deleted says I'm not an English speaker. What am I missing? Animation says animation, maybe. Pretty sure they sent him out looking for a skunk. And Deleted thought that was funny. Difficult Soup says natural cure for constipation. Adagio Muted says I have been having bowel issues for the last month. This poach actually felt helpful. Jesus Blanco says the Conan O'Brien must go show. They go to Italy, and he asked the guy, "What would happen if you drank the olive oil?" He said, "Make you poopy." Desert Vision says, "Don't take advice from Grandpa. Don't wrestle him either. Old dudes are strong. Some of them." You know what? I'm gonna go get something because this is ridiculous. I'll be right back. The man is out there snoring away, letting his YouTube algorithm run. He didn't get. He got a new Fitbit finally. His Fitbit was wonky, so they sent him a new one. It went from 100% charge to 20% in like 6 hours one day, and he'd been having problems with it all along. So he got it. Well, it came on Friday. He didn't start wearing it till Sunday. Sunday night he did not get any deep sleep, and last night he got like an hour and a half. So he's a tired boy. Plus he has a fever, as well as complains about me coughing. Complains about my cough all the time. So I hope he has one that lingers, which they've always said to me. The handful of 10. Oh, you have a cough, it'll go away eventually. They always say to me, and that's what they say to my sister, because we have winter coughs, both of us. I think my dad does too. My dad said something silly when we were discussing that, and I said something like, says the man who goes to the ER every time he gets a cold, because he has really bad. When he gets a cold, he gets it really bad, like just a minor cold. He ends up at urgent care every time, or he goes to the doctor. Sometimes he can go to the doctor. Sometimes he goes to the doctor and then goes to urgent care. What they gave him didn't work. So I'd like him to get that figured out. So my sister and I can get our stuff figured out. All right. This is just no mill, considering excluding husband from birth due to mill. Hi, everyone. I'm going to start with some history. My husband, 39 male, and I, 33 female, had our son 5 years ago. During my pregnancy, my mother-in-law insisted on staying with us. She owns a home 2 hours away, in which she constantly gave unsolicited advice. Was mad if I left dishes in the sink, even though I was suffering from undiagnosed gestational diabetes, in school full time and working full time. Um, Ma'am, why can your son not clean or do the dishes? Why is he not in charge of that? She's pregnant. She's like gestating an entire human here. She's never mad at my husband, who was only working 32 hours a week. She insisted at being in the hospital room when I gave birth, and when I denied this request, my husband literally said, "That's too bad. It's her first grandchild, and this is important to her." I ended up going through my doctor to ensure she was not in the room, and I had no visitors besides my husband. COVID saved me, as we were not allowed any extra visitors. Sometimes yay for COVID, honestly. Although I was not allowed to see my oldest grandson in the hospital due to COVID. Which kind of stank, but we took them a pizza because my daughter-in-law loves pizza. That's her favorite. So we took them a pizza one night when they were there. It was a complicated thing. She ended up with a C-section that she was not expecting to have. So they were in there a couple days. I read something over the weekend where somebody said they had a C-section, and after a C-section they were expected to spend 2 to 4 weeks in the hospital. And I'm like, I believe that you get to spend 2 to 4 weeks in the hospital after you have a C-section. Like, ain't a here. That's for dang sure. They kick you out as soon as they can. After my son was born, we returned home from the hospital, where she was waiting with a 30-pack of beer to celebrate. Oh, that's not good. Her and my husband proceeded to get drunk, where I was left alone, recovering and taking care of our son by myself and not sleeping for 48 hours. She was even annoyed that I refused to drink, even though I was breastfeeding and had just given birth. What is wrong with this woman? Not OP. What's wrong with her mother-in-law? She did go home after a couple of days, but she constantly returned and crossed major boundaries, including taking my crying newborn from me to ensure sleep training. No, you do not sleep train a baby, a newborn, ever. Putting rubbing alcohol on his belly button against mine and my doctor's wishes, and causing a hernia. I don't know how she would cause a hernia. Ended up driving with my baby to my home 2 hours away every week to escape her. My husband did nothing to help or enforce me this entire time, and I ended up moving out with my son and leaving him for 6 months. I went through therapy, which helped, but I obviously still have some resentment. Well, of course you would. Why wouldn't you not? Anyway, I ended up reuniting with my husband under the ultimatum that he stops drinking, enforces, and goes low contact. And he did. She was furious and ignored us for months, and all was peaceful. To our current state. I'm pregnant with our second son, and she's been coming around more and more. I thought you were no contact. Oh, you were no contact. Never mind. I'm an idiot. She was dog sitting her friend's dog close to her house for a weekend. She asked if our son could come over. I declined, as our 5-year-old is very rambunctious, and I don't trust his behavior around dogs. I don't know. Well, lo and behold, I got to work for my mid shift, and she sends me a text with no context of my son and the dog sitting in a recliner together, with the dog's face 6 inches from my son's face. I was furious with my husband, but he is convinced she was just trying to reassure me that the dog was friendly. Why was he with the dog? Honestly, the vast majority of dogs will be fine with a little kid, even if they're rambunctious. They're very patient. They deal with puppies naturally, so they can deal with little kids. Unless the dog has done something in the past. Most dogs, and you can usually tell when a dog's not going to be okay. They'll go away. So as long as the kid's not like, I don't know, my grandsons jump on their dog and pull the dog's tail and everything. But she's also used to them. Is the dog used to kids? If they're not, then that could be an issue. Does the kid know how to treat dogs? If not, that's neglect on your part. You should have taught him already. The same weekend, we had picked out a name for our baby and shared it with her. Don't do that. Don't share your names. Unless you know that your mom's going to be like, okay, don't share your names. She didn't like it, and after having a private dinner with my husband, he decides he doesn't like it either. Husband, husband. It even has an H on it for husband, red flag. Even though we had been decided on that name for months. She's interfering with your life, OP. Now she's supposed to watch her son while I give birth, as we have no other family or support. Your parents are 2 hours away. Trust me, you are not, unless you have some kind of condition that causes you to birth fast. Your mother and father can get there in time. Or if you have a feeling, if you have an inkling that today may be the day, which I always did. Like seriously, my in-laws came over. Which one was I pregnant with? I think the second one. She came over. Yeah, both of them came over, and for dinner or something. I can't remember. And I'm like, my due date's like tomorrow. Why don't you just take the kids with you? That way you won't have to come back and get them. Because they were going to have to come back and get them. Took the kids. Next day I had a baby. Moms know. um, After her behavior this week, I can't see she's changed, and my husband keeps saying I'm just being hormonal and blaming her for my past experience, which is making me feel insane. Now that's people, it's gaslighting. When you feel insane, that's gaslighting. They're gaslighting her. I'm thinking about downplaying my labor pains, letting him know I'm just going in for a check-in and having the baby by myself, and telling him when it's too late for his mother to come, and naming the baby the original name we picked out despite his change of mind. Well, that's not right either, honey. That is not the answer to this. The answer to this is just leave him. And honestly, if she keeps overstepping, because I can already see how this situation is going to start repeating itself, I will be leaving again in the future, but permanently this time, which is a defeating feeling when you're pregnant. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is, but this guy does not deserve you. I'm sorry this is so long. I have been feeling completely unhinged since I received the dog picture, and I have no support from my husband on this matter. Yeah, you have a husband problem as well as a mother-in-law problem. Thank you, just no milk community. I read the post here every day, and honestly, it feels like honestly provides a needed silent support. Update. I talked to my husband and we were back to low contact. She will not be watching my son when we give birth. We actually found a stay-at-home mom that is going to watch him. I'm not telling my mother-in-law, as my friend will be watching our son at her house, and we're not going to tell mother-in-law when I'm in labor. Good. Obviously, if boundaries get crossed again, I will leave because I'm done with mother-in-law and husband supporting her insanity. For now, I'm not happy that we are no contact, but I'm satisfied that she won't get to ruin another postpartum experience. Thank you all for supporting me and the confidence to stand up to my husband and give him an ultimatum. Ultimatum. What's an ultimatum? Is that past an ultimatum? You have an ultimatum, and then you have the ultimatum. I think I invented a new word. I will be reading and rooting for you all. Animaniac 2 says, I think this is the point where you directly say to him, this is the kind of stuff I left over the last time. Why would you think that I wouldn't do it again and stay gone this time? Because you're showing me that you cannot be relied on to keep the boundaries enforced. I don't care what she thought she was doing, even if your most positive interpretation of her actions is right, that is still a problem because I said no and that no was not respected, and that's all I need to know. All in quotes, like she's talking to him. Just too quirky, says. Putting this out there, husband is going to enable his mom's behavior until you put your foot down again, which may mean leaving. I'm sorry, but we both know that's true. That said, have you explained to him that you are at the end of your rope? If he keeps bringing your kid to his mom behind your back or listening to her opinions or names, you won't let him attend the birth, might get him out of the fog. Regardless, he needs therapy and you both need couples counseling. I would I'd make those two things along with him being present during the labor, not texting, communicating with his mom unless it's an emergency, as a condition of him being present for the birth. Good idea. I mean, this guy's got to be on a short leash from now on because he can't be trusted. And I'm glad that she confronted him rather than sneaking around behind his back to get him to not be at the birth. All of these are original comments, by the way. Stuck in Nowhereville says, yep, do it, but get the divorce papers drawn up. Caroline Dime says, yes, do all of what you're planning on, please, please. No. No, confronting him is the right move. He should have a choice in the matter. Says, I think having the baby without your husband is not the worst idea, although it may end your relationship. It seems it's headed that way anyway, since he can't tell mommy no and can't be trusted to keep her away. However, is there a good friend or family that can take you to the hospital or even an Uber? You shouldn't be driving while in labor. Something to consider. If you go that route, be sure to let the staff know that you don't want either of them in the room and that the only you are to fill out the birth certificate. Poppy Smile answers that. A friend who can take you to the hospital and watch your older child. I'd be careful cutting a husband out too much unless you're in control of the older child. You don't want this to turn into a tit for tat situation where he and mommy are butthurt and trying to keep the older child away. Yeah, that's true too. Hopefully he's learned his lesson. It's just This is from Retail Hall and it's entitled Fair Fair. And I'm not going to show this. It's a meme that says store closes at 8:01 p.m. and customers are still inside. It has a guy with a assault rifle type weapon and it just says shame. Like, no, I don't like this one at all. I don't like it. There's too much of that going around. That behavior, please. I don't like it. This is Petty Revenge. It's entitled My Ex-Boss Taught Me About Responsibility, so I returned the favor. I had a boss for 5 years. We'll call her Jay. Let's not call her Jay. Let's call her Jen. I had a boss for 5 years. We'll call her Jen. I worked with young children with disabilities. Some of the issues I had with Jen ranging from minor problems, never responding to emails, not providing basic necessities which our program was supposed to provide, etc., to major issues such as accusing me of breaking students' iPads, repeatedly asking me to do illegal things, not responding to abuse complaints, laughing at me when I shared how concerned I was about some of this, and making my staff cry on a weekly basis. Jen's a bad boss. Some of her favorite quotes. I pay you, you'll do what I want. Not if it's illegal, ma'am. No, I will not. Or unethical. If you don't like it, go work at Walmart. I don't want to work at Walmart. I want to help these kids. You go work at Walmart. That's why you're not the boss. No, I'm not the boss because you're the boss, unfortunately. Be your own problem solver. Complete and total a-hole. After 5 years, I couldn't take it anymore. My last day of work, my colleagues had a party for me, and they all signed a card. Boss signed it. Not everyone is cut out for this level of responsibility. Good luck, Jen. So my last week, imagine my reaction when I see her mugshot posted on social media, arrested for DWI. So I sent her a thinking of you greeting card. Inside I wrote, sorry about your arrest. Not everybody is cut out for this level of responsibility. Good luck. That's how you do it. Yes, OP. Next, her check says, well played. Dented cab answers, touche. Atlas Scrubbed quoted not Please for the kiddos turn her into protective services for ignoring that. Even an anonymous report would help. Um, OP says, oh, for sure, I informed her boss as well as our regional director and CPS. Parents also complained. Intrepid Much says, parents complained and she still kept her job. And St. Place says, 100%. If you show up, you got an excellent job security. Unless you embezzle or physically, sexually abuse one of the kids, you will even get promoted. Bland Boring Jessica says, she probably had blackmail in the higher ups. I don't think Jessica has weird ideas. Am I the jerk? Entitled AITJ for telling my roommate I won't adjust my sleep schedule because her boyfriend visits on weekends. Exactly, he's a visitor. I live here. I, 24 female, live with my roommate, Kayla, 26 female, in a 2-bedroom apartment. We've lived together for about 14 months and generally get along fine. I work an early shift. I'm up at 5:30 a.m. on weekdays and usually on weekends too because my body just does what it does at this point. Yeah. I mean, if you're working that early on weekends, you cannot sleep more than like 6:30 at the latest. Otherwise, it throws your whole schedule off. Kayla works later hours and her boyfriend Tyler visits most weekends, usually arriving Friday night and leaving Sunday. I've in person. The issue started about 6 weeks ago when Kayla asked if I could just try to be quieter in the mornings on weekends because Taylor is a light sleeper and my morning routine, which is usually making coffee and getting ready, was waking him up. I said, sure, I'll try to be more careful. I started tiptoeing around my own kitchen at 6 a.m., skipping the coffee grinder, not running the dishwasher. I felt like a bit odd, but I tried. Then last weekend she came to me and said Tyler was still being woken up and asked if maybe I could push my wake up time to 8 or 8:30 on weekends. No. That's like 3 hours after I get up normally. No. Why don't you go to Tyler's house? I told her honestly that I wasn't willing to do that. I explained this was my home too, and I have a routine that works for me, and I don't think it's reasonable to change my sleep schedule permanently so her boyfriend, who doesn't live here, can sleep in. She got pretty silent and said she thought I was being selfish. I think Tyler's being selfish. I felt bad about it, but I also feel like I already made concessions and there's a limit, so am I the jerk? No, absolutely not. For a special boy says, Tyler is a low-key sponging off you two, also acting very entitled for someone who is not paying the rent. If he has trouble sleeping at your place, he can try sleeping at his house on weekends, and Kayla can stay there. 100%. Newlet Joy says, for real, how weird these dudes roll in for free, and suddenly you're the one expected to bend your whole life around their comfort. If you can't handle normal morning noise, which I can't. I'm in the kitchen doing, making coffee or whatever. That could very well wake me up. I'm a fairly light sleeper. Luckily, I have a sound machine. Maybe you should get a sound machine, Tyler. He's got a perfectly good house of his own to sleep in. Yeah, exactly. But I know that I can't handle morning noise, somebody else's noise. I can't handle it at night either. Night's worse though. Night's worse because you're trying to get to sleep and you can't. But in the morning, that's a me problem, not a you problem. And I don't live here. So I can't demand other people do stuff if I don't live there. Now, if I live in my house, then yeah, we have rules. Quiet time from 10 to 9, depending. And I try to be, and I'm a courteous person. I try to be quiet in the morning too, till like 8. And then I got to get up and I got to do stuff. I got up at 7:30 this morning, even though I knew the man wasn't feeling good and wasn't going to get up. I did my coffee with the grinder. I don't have an option to not use the grinder. Although I guess I could grind it the night before, but whatever. Um, he slept through everything till 10, like 10:30. Almost 10:30 because I was doing Sister Wives this morning, I promise. Oh, that's another thing we gotta well, we can talk about that later. Jezebel answers that worse, the girlfriends of these entitled man babies bend their whole life around them and expect everyone else to do the same. In this case, the boyfriend is an entitled a hole, but the girlfriend is even worse. She should have shut him down the first time he was complaining because he is a guest, not a roommate, and guests should not inconvenience their hosts. Amen. Deleted says NTJ, I'm going to tell you the same thing I used to tell my clients when I cleaned houses. You are never in the way in your own home. Hospitality is beautiful and it's wonderful that you practiced it, but this is no longer a situation of hospitality. He's living with you part time. That means he's walking in, knowing the rhythm of the household, and choosing to sleep there anyway. Maybe she should spend weekends with him at his place if he hates your routine. Curry Fish says the one exception is when someone is doing remote therapy. My husband and I are scrupulous in preserving each other's privacy then. That's a different thing. Delayed says, but you guys aren't visitors in your own home. There's a difference between an expectation of privacy between spouses and an interloper demanding things they don't have. Yeah, no, you're not the jerk. You're not the jerk at all. Tyler's a jerk. Tyler needs to take Kayla, I think that was her name, and go to his house. Why are they at your house all the time? Even my husband stayed in my apartment for part of the time before we got married. Next, we have entitled people, and it's entitled, You're So Old You Need to Move. One of my coworkers, Michelle, told me this story over lunch today. She was in public library last week doing some work on one of the free computers. Next to her was a young girl around 8 years old. No obvious supervising adult in sight. Well, that's a problem. Another little girl about the same age comes up to Michelle and says, You need to move. I want to sit at the computer next to my friend. Michelle just thought about it for a few seconds. She's pretty non confrontational, but decided that she didn't like the attitude. So, no, I won't be doing that. I'm in the middle of doing something. You will need to use one of the other computers. It didn't go well, apparently. You have to move. I want to sit with my friend. No, I won't be doing that. Where's your mother? Someone should be looking after at you. You have to move. You're old and fat, and you shouldn't be here anyway. I want to sit next to my friend. Go home. Oh, this little girl needs a reality check. Red flags for the parenting on this kid. This went back and forth a few times before the mother went to sit at one of the other computers, after which she started verbally abuse Michelle, shouting to each other across the table. I can't believe she wouldn't move. She's so mean. Maybe we should kill her and chop her up. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't it be funny if we murdered her right here and so on? Okay, this is a sociopath. This girl needs therapy like stat, like now, before she kills somebody. This is not normal 8-year-old behavior. Michelle said she eventually went to the librarian to complain, after which the woman came scurrying to bustle the girls off and head out to the door. Bloody 8-year-olds abusing and threatening a 65-year-old woman. I can't imagine what they'll be like when they hit their teens. Heck, they're not going to make it to their teens. They're going to be in death row before then. Tom Ode says, kids this age don't come up with stuff like this on their own. They're modeling some adult in their lives. So someone thinks murdering people and chopping them up is entertaining enough to talk about it in casual conversation around your kid. Edit, when I said people in their lives, I absolutely include live streaming and social media as people in their lives. Bells Bush says, yeah, I was going to say this. There's a kid at my friend's school that will say those things. And if she doesn't get her way, she calls her dad, who comes to the school and threatens the kids. And he's a big dude. Like, what the actual? No wonder she got it from. The school doesn't do anything about it either. That's wrong. That's wrong. Safe to say I chose another school for my kids, but my friends' kids have started to swear and say the F word and throw tantrums, etc. So I guess the monster child models the behavior for her classmates. Starboard seat quotes who comes to the school and threatens the kids. Good Lord, what school district allows parents to threaten other children on the school grounds? I've worked for a lot of schools, and every single school I've ever worked at that would have banned that parent from being allowed on school grounds after the very first time that occurred. Name and shame that school. Tricky Dog says, exactly, I would call the cops. And Bell's Brush says, because you're a reasonable parent. Leading procedure answers one of those. I can't tell you which one. Happened a few years ago. 45-year-old MAGA Chad Michael Watts of Kyle picks a fight with the 14-year-old girls at a high school where students did a walkout. He's been arrested, very aggressor. Out of all the students he goes for girls, thinking they're easy and weak, yet he gets his ass kicked by them and other 14-year-olds. Yeah, was their video. I'm not going to show you the video, but I am going to open it and watch it later for myself. You know what? I will also copy the link. I think that should do it. And I will put it in the description. And I can't vouch for this, so be warned. But it is in there. I'll put his name on it. What was it, Chad? Chad Michael Watts. It just says Chad Michael Watts on it. It has the link to the YouTube video. So save. All right. So that's in the show notes. Or in the show notes. I think I'm on a podcast. That's in the description. Ms. Whatsit says, Savage, don't mess with 14-year-old girls, especially not in packs. Yeah, 14-year-olds. Yeah, they're not quite in high school. And middle school girls, ooh, you do not want to mess with middle school girls. That guy thought he was going to physically intimidate one girl, and then a bunch of them went all Lord of the Flies on his ass. Oh, that's going to be great. I can't wait to watch that. I cannot wait. That's going to be awesome. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Murdered by Words, entitled Fully Clear of Any Connection. And it's it's some kind of post from somewhere. It doesn't say where. It says, President Trump confirms he has been fully cleared of any connection to the Jeffrey Epstein case. And Dead Lad 69 answers, breaking. Adolf Hitler confirms he had been fully cleared of any connection to the Holocaust case. That's what it sounds like to people with brains. True statement. Like, how can you even think that? Like, no, you haven't. You have not, sir. Taser Lord says, oh, well, he has declared it so. That's some kingly crap right there. And then somebody posted this meme. I declare bankruptcy. Gotta love Michael Scott. Mary Sunshine said that meme is fitting since Donald has also been bankrupt, not just morally, but also financially. Sammy asks how many times has he filed bankruptcy? 6, I think. Hopefully I remember correctly. I'm being too lazy to try to Google. That's okay. We're all too tired to Google right now. Still boggles my mind that people thought he was financially a good idea. Let's put a person that's horrible at business and yes, also morally bankrupt people in charge of the U.S. Yes. Already know about the stealing money from cancer kids before we elected him the first time, and you still elected him. It wasn't me because I didn't elect him. I didn't want him ever for any reason. He's not a good person. Expectation versus reality. Figurines for my mini museum. Oh, the mini museum looks cute. Picture from product listed versus what I received. You have to eat another one, I guess. This is a picture from product listed, which I mean, they're not great to begin with. Not like it's not like this picture up here where they have, actual looking clothes and stuff on. They're pretty bad to begin with, honestly. I wouldn't buy them. They just look 3D printed. Why do you know me not have? Or is that the whole picture? That might be the whole picture. Okay, so she was supposed to receive the top, and she got the bottom, from what I'm gathering. Yeah, that's not cool. Why is one of them sitting down, and why do they all look like colorful superhero mutants? So this is the whole picture. She didn't do it before and after. I'll share it again just in case. I'm assuming she thought she was getting this row of figurines, and she got this crap of 3D printed crap. That's even bad 3D printing. Maybe I'll show you some 3D prints that are good. Nice thigh-high stripper boots on the ladies. And that one guy. I think that's just supposed to be their pants. They don't like, it just didn't go up all the way. Like the naked lady. Jalike says, oh no, it's Jilk says, yes, nude with thigh highs and Britney Spears leather flat cap. Oh. They get painted at the trolley factory. That's it. Igor, Gord, Gord, Igor, not Donov. Igor Donov. Igor Donov. Okay, I got it. Igor Donov says, no, no, no. OP's picks look like the little wax things you get to bite into and juice would come out. Gentle Witness says wax bottle candy. Yes. That's exactly what it looks like. Okay. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I try to go live at least 4 times a week, usually Tuesday through Thursday, and usually about noonish Eastern time. Sometimes I'm late. I'll probably be late tomorrow because I got to get groceries tomorrow. For sure, got to get groceries tomorrow. Tell your friends, tell your grandparents, or your parents, depending on your age. Old, lonely people. Set them up so that they can watch and maybe nice. Tell your family, tell your coworkers, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. If you have a story of your own or come across a good one in the wild, please send us an email entitled submission. If you would like an email link to today's live, send an email entitled subscribe. The email is biddybrunchbunch, all one word, at gmail.com, and the email address is also in the description. And I have a overheard for you. So we were at the wrestling on Sunday. We get there. These 2 women are talking behind us, and I'm, getting settled in and everything. And then one of them says something like, and I told him he could either stop or I was going to spank him. And I'm so angry, I don't think I could stop. Like, okay, first of all, you're hitting your kid. Wrong. Don't do that. B, you're hitting them out of anger. You're just being abusive. She's being abusive. Ma'am, if you said that, you are an abusive person. Just throwing it out there. Don't hit your kids. There was another one on Facebook where like, oh, I just spanked. You hit your kid. Should you go to jail for it? No. Should you not do it? Yeah. You should not do it. I don't get these people. You do not get them at all. Oh, okay. Also, reality TV. I did work on a little bit of Sister Wives this morning. About an hour and a half. I got there for like 15 minutes. 45, 15, 20, 30. Not 30. It wasn't 30. It wasn't half, but less than half of the show. I worked on it for an hour and a half. You wonder why it gives me headaches. Also, Seven Little Johnstons is starting up again. I got a I got a scare this morning because I come across a I was scrolling Reddit this morning. And I come across the things about Bryce not being nice and all this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Affected, not Samuel L. Johnson's. So that was funny. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I noticed what subreddit I was in. I'm an idiot. So anyway, Samuel L. Johnson's also starting, so that'll be on tomorrow. So I'll probably have that for you on Thursday. Um, Still working on Sister Wives. Samuel L. Johnson's is much easier. It doesn't take me more than half the hour, 45 minutes to do that because A, it's only half an hour long, and B, they don't do anything. And they're going to be doing even less in this season because they don't have Anna to pick on. It's going to be all wedding, wedding, wedding. One's going to be all baby, baby, baby. And they're saying they want a little person baby again. Who want their kids to have disabilities. It's ridiculous. Okay, next we have our real estate episode. I don't think we're going to go through. Apparently, this was this house burn in Hopkinton, New Hampshire. It was renovated into a house. They have. I hope you didn't hear that because that was gross. It was me. They have apparently pictures of the before, but we're not going to look at that. I'm not looking at that. It is pending. $1.2 million. 4 bed, 44,000 square feet, 44 and a quarter. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. It looks, well, that looks less Barney. Okay, I saw a picture of the back of it, I guess. So that looks cool. That looks like a nice, big, giant house. How come it's only got 4 bedrooms? Looks like it could be a dormitory. Nice front windows. So there's frost on my windows, does that. But only when the screen's closed. There you go. There's the barn part of it. Interesting. That's nice. I actually have kind of have a ceiling like this in my house. That's what we did in the basement. Nice storage under here. Old people float. Oh, Abraham Lincoln, and I don't know who these are, but they seem important. Nice kitchen. I like the kitchen. That fridge, that's amazing. How would you replace that after 10 years? Because it's all like fridge is going to last. I'm not a fan of the sink. I don't like it. I don't like it coming all the way out like that. I want something here to catch the water because otherwise I'm splashing myself all day long. And the water, it's going to go all over the floor all day long. I need that extra splash guard. Also, if I'm going to have the stove separate from the range, I'm going to want, oh, there's a stove under the range too, maybe? Or no. I'm going to want it higher than that. Even at my shortness, I want it higher than that. I also found on Reddit the other day that I want a kitchen tool that grabs your rack and pulls it out and pushes it back in. I want one of those. It might save me some burns once in a while. Little coffee area, but there's no coffee. Maybe the grinder's hidden. I don't know. I do not like this. No, you do not need to see in my refrigerator at all. Maybe there's a light where if it's off, because I know they have refrigerators where you can turn the light on in the refrigerator and it'll show what's in there. But if the light goes off, it doesn't show. Those are pretty nifty. Yep, it does have extra stovage, extra ovenage down here. I quite like the range top. Gives you lots of room and a griddle. I think that's going to be a griddle. Oh, and they have a pot a pot faucet, which is really nice. I would love one of those. Money were no object. The stuff I would have in my house. Lots and lots of kitchen storage, which is nice. I don't have nearly enough personally, but I do not like. I'm not a neat person. So this would be a disaster for me. It's never going to look good in my house. My daughter-in-law has open shelves. Can never do that either because I just pile things. I just throw and pile things. That's cute. The rolling pins. Why do you need that many rolling pins though? I'm not saying I don't have more than one. I do, but why do you need that many? I don't like wooden stuff that it's going to get wet constantly. That's not good because it'll just split the wood. Unless that's plastic that looks like wood. This is the bathroom. What is this? I don't know what that room was. Nice dining area. Needs a bigger table to fill out the space. I would probably keep that mural. It's really cool. Might cover up the middle part with the palace though. AI fire is always fun. There's yet another mural on the wall. You can't see. Ceiling is very rustic. Depending on the rest of the house, I can take or leave that. Like the arched doorway, but you know I do. So I grew up in one. Well, grew up is kind of a misnomer. We lived in it for 4 years. But it was my favorite house that we lived in, other than the bedroom situation. There was a door, like an open doorway between my sister's room and my room. My stepmother put the dressers there so they couldn't get through. Didn't like that. Oh, that's interesting. It's round. What is it? What's inside there? Is that a silo? I don't know. Might be. It is farmy looking. Another fireplace with the fake fire. It's very winter outside. That's a nice. No, that's not staying with the house for sure, but that's nice. It's probably one of those stupid Kincaid things. That's not bad for black and white. I'm not partial to black and white. The wallpaper has to go. Nice stove with fake fire in it. Number 403. Okay. It's apparently number 403. Is that the address? It is. That's the house number. What if they change the house numbers? Because they do that sometimes. It's a very skinny little closet thing. Does Harry Potter live in there because it's under the stairs or next to? Was listening to NPR the other day. I think it was This American Life, and this guy was talking about his ancient house that he has in LA. Now he has a grand staircase, and as soon as he opens the door every time, it's like, I own that grand staircase. It was pretty cute. Okay, what is going on here? Like, do you have to walk over to this side and then go in that room? I mean, I could probably do it in the middle because I'm short, but I just don't understand what's going on there. That's the roof line. Why? I'm telling you right now, I know from experience this step is dangerous. The steps in my grandma's house going upstairs, I wouldn't happen to me, but anybody even slightly taller than me would hit their head because the ceiling for the bed, one of the bedrooms, was too low on the stairs, and you would hit your head going upstairs every time if you didn't. Everybody had to duck. Luckily, most of us were short and it didn't affect us, but my husband had ducked. You have to duck going up the stairs. It's crazy. My house was not made for living. It's still there. I don't mind that tub. It's kind of cute. I don't super mind this. I don't like the sinks. I have not. I don't like the sinks in this house. Oh, that's nice. I like that. So this is the drain. So the floor's gonna be slightly tilted to go to the drain. And that's why you don't get water over here, but you still get water everywhere. But it's mud for that, so it's okay. Like likely the whole floor has a when they put a shower and they put a shallow tub in underneath your shower in case it leaks. They will do that for that kind of the whole bathroom will have that though. I don't know what that's called, basin, something like that. That's weird. So weird. And why do you have to have a refrigerator in your bedroom? That's also weird. Unless it's a hotel, it's weird. That's a nice room. These seem a little low though. And you got this weird duct coming in. Why would you not hide that in the ceiling? Lower the ceiling and hide that. Must be bedroom 4. That's cute area. Someone's a Swiftie. All houses are super cute. Taylor Swift. TS. Ooh, somebody doesn't like people coming in their room when they're asleep because they have a lock on it. They have a hook and eye lock. That's to keep people out when it's occupied. Too much. It's another black and white bathroom. Too much wallpaper. I don't like wallpaper, especially in a bathroom. That's a terrible idea. Tiny little, but not as tiny as mine. Tiny little laundry room. It's okay. It's cute. You can do what you need to do in there. Wish I had that room for a rack like that in mine. I need a rack like that actually for my bedroom. Evergreen Acres, but I like these kind of signs. Old timey. Outside of the barn again. Outdoor space. This for your movies? Maybe. Maybe it's for your movies. I feel like the inside of that barn's hiding things. Okay, that's in Hopkinton, New Jersey. It's a desirable town, apparently. Managed from Cook. With its antique restored farmhouse. A 12 acres, so that's nice. It has stone walls, which is good. Didn't look like it had stone walls. First floor has a living room, family room, dining room, library with floor to ceiling built-ins, an office den, two bathrooms, and a front foyer. Upstairs has the primary suites that we're calling it now. The spa-like full bathtub, full bath, spacious walk-in closets, another three additional bedrooms, a bath, and a laundry. Nice to have the laundry upstairs. I'll give them that. The attached three-story barn and detached 2.5 car garage offer many possibilities for expansion. Well, I'd right away be putting a garage in the barn for an attached garage. You'd have to do some. You have to put up an extra wall, but that's what I would be doing. Golf, skiing, swimming, and kayaking are close by, and it backs up to I. Looks like it practically backs up to I 89. There's forced air, hot air ceiling for the heating, and central air for the cooling. Dishwasher range hood, mini fridge, double oven, glass range, refrigerator, washer, domestic water heater. What am I missing? Microwave. No microwave. Ceiling pans, dining areas, kitchen island, primary bedroom with bath. Concrete floor, unfinished basement. Interior entry to the basement has fireplace. Fireplace is gas plus 3 fireplaces. I don't know what that means. Total structure is 5,454 square feet, but the livable space is 4,426 square feet. So you could get another 1,000 square feet probably in that barn area. I still say I'd put a garage in there and then have like a bonus room for the kids up top. That'd be fun. Hope 7 acres. Agricultural, landscaped. 2 levels, 2 stories. Okay. Because it has a spa and that it's heated. It has barn's gazebo and an outbuilding. 200 amp electric service, sewer. It says private sewer. Does that mean it's on a septic? Does that mean it's septic, really? Oh, it has cable TV, so that's awesome. Fiber optic internet available. There you go. That's selling point for me. When we moved in this house, it said it had internet. It did not have internet. They never connected the internet. Like what an idiot. Who doesn't have connection to the internet? They were teachers. How did they get away with no connection to the internet? So anyway, we asked how much it would be to connect the internet, and they said like $3,000. I'm not paying $3,000 for that. That's insanity. So we got satellite. Do not recommend. Do not recommend the satellite. At the time, I don't know how it is now, but at the time, you had a certain amount of megabytes you could use throughout the day, and then from like 2 a.m. to 6 p.m., you could use as much as you wanted. But at 6 a.m., it started counting again. So especially during the summer. My kids slept during the day and were on the internet from 2 to 6. And I would get up, for them to go to school, and if I needed to download everything, it was between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. I'd be downloading stuff. I'd have a list of anything I needed to download. I could browse throughout the day, that was not a problem, but oh, it was horrible. And we did that for 2 years because we had a 2-year contract. Then our 2 years was up, and I called the internet service again. I'm like, how much would it be to, uh, to get internet connected to my house? Because they had just been doing stuff out there. They're like, "Oh, it's only $330." I'm like, "Sold, get out here and do it now." I didn't even consult my husband on that $300. I told him, "Hey, I got internet coming." I don't know how long it took. Do they have our taxes? Because we always like to check the taxes. Taxes are only $1,600. That's not bad. Not bad at all for taxes. Let's see what the comments say. Compare this to the before pictures that really makes you appreciate the true craftsmanship are able to visualize and then accomplish of a select job through the entire gallery. All right, maybe we do need to look at the before pictures. Maybe we do need to look at the before pictures. Oh, there we go. Okay. Here are the before pictures. We can just go, oh my. I mean, it's differently connected to the barn. And there is garage space in the barn already. So you don't even have to do that. Why did they imply that there was not garage space in the barn? It's the back still looks like could have dorms up here. And yeah, it needs some yard work for sure. There's the detached garage. It's only on one garage door, so that's weird. Yeah, this is where the wooden ceiling would have been, I think. Yeah, it needed work. Yeah, somebody put some effort into this house for sure. Oh my. Yeah, they redid the entire kitchen. The kitchen looks completely different. Yeah, this looks like it had been empty for a while, I think. Crappy shower space. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Foundation? The heck is going on there? That's wild. Unless that's the barn, I don't know. Could be the barn. Oh, it is the barn. Okay. I don't even know how many pictures there are. Oh, I think we're starting over. Never mind. I think we're ready. Yeah, somebody put a lot of work into that. Like a lot of work. Now I want to check what it sold for before. Is there 1.2 million? They usually have the history. Yeah. It's the lowest. It sold for 250K in 2022. That's what they bought this for. It was 250K in 2022. Now it's worth, well, they asked at one point it was worth 2.4 million. Now it's down to 1.4 million, and now it's down to 1.2 million. They've been trying to sell it for a while. They've been trying to sell it since last July. Nobody's biting. I think they're asking too much for it, honestly. It's nice, but They're asking a lot for it. That was a good flipper. Probably was not a flipper. Interesting AF. Photographer John J. Botha was at a lion kill of quite a big lion family of 9, which included some cubs. All had enough to eat when all of a sudden this overfed lion cub just fell over on its back looking at him. It says it's not safe for work, so be warned. It's totally safe for work. It's so cute. Yeah, it's not safe for work because you might die of cuteness. Look how cute he is. He's so cute. He got his fill. He got his fill of food. You're a good boy. Like, that might be a girl. Probably is a girl. Ragnar Bjornsson says, "You're lucky I just ate." Defiant Reindeer says, "I don't know if it's just because it's early, but I had to read this like 11 times for it to make sense." Lecture Rennie says, "It sounded like they killed a whole family of lions and did not until it didn't anymore." That's what I was thinking too. Next is Am I the a-hole? AITA for telling my sister you are selfish and canceling her engagement dinner at my place. I don't know. You might be. Depends. Your sister might be. Your brother-in-law, future brother-in-law might be. I have a younger sibling, and it seems like I am always helping her. In college, I would help her with her essays. Can relate. I would listen to her problems. If she got stuck somewhere, I would go and pick her up. She's 24 now, and it's gotten pretty clear that she doesn't reciprocate helping out, nor does she do any favors for the family. So she's a taker. My brother and I have both noticed it. I had a conversation with her about it, and she says she would do better. Recently, she asked if she could use my house for her engagement dinner, and I agreed. It's a terrible sentence. It did not. Those were not the words that were written. It was a big favor, in my opinion, and I have been helping to plan it. My sister lives very close to my kids' daycare. I left work, and on the way home, there was a huge crash on the highway. I wasn't moving at all. It took me 4 hours to get home. My husband was also stuck. The day called asking where I was, and I told them I'm trying to get there. They billed an extra $100 over 30 minutes you're late. I called my sister and asked her to pick up the kids and just to hold on to them for a few hours until I can grab them. Does she have a car seat for that? She said no, and that she wanted to relax tonight. No, your sister's in an emergency situation. You go get your niece and nephew. My son would go get his nephews if his parents couldn't get there. Otherwise, the kids feel abandoned. Why would she feel abandoned? Well, first they'd call us and ask us to do it, and then they probably might call her sister. But if she couldn't do it, they'd call my nephew or my son. He lives in town. His girlfriend lives in town. They might even just call her. She'd probably do it. She's a good kid. I told her I really needed to do this favor because I was stuck and it didn't seem like I would be moving anytime soon. I told her I will Venmo her the money for the daycare, but to please pick them up. She told me no again and hung up. Rude, sister. I ended up calling my mother-in-law, who was an hour away, and she was able to pick up the kids and stay at our place until we got back around 9 o'clock. I was in traffic for 4 hours. To be honest, I have been pissed ever since that happened last Thursday. I have helped her over and over again, and she could not do me one simple favor when she's literally 10 minutes away from the daycare because she wanted to relax. I talked it over, and my husband and I both agreed we're done helping her. I sent her a text and said that family is supposed to help each other, and it's become clear that she only ever wants help and is not willing to help. I told her I would not be I would not be hosting. Girl needed to what do you call it? Proofread. Girl needed to proofread bad. I told her I would not be hosting her engagement party and I will not do her any favors anymore. She called and we got into a huge argument where I called her selfish and she called me petty. I want outsider's opinion because I'm pissed about this whole thing. No, I don't blame you. She's 10 minutes away. She could have went and got the kids. Redaxa Track says there's a meme floating around read it this week that says relationships are not transactional, but they are reciprocal. Remember that the next time you want to tell somebody you don't owe them crap. It got me thinking all week. Yeah, I mean, you do reciprocate. Shouldn't be transactional in that you do this for me, I'll do that for you. But it should be reciprocal in that I've done all these things for you and you need to do this one thing for me. That's what it means. Soccer problems answers. I truly think people forget that you have to give back if you want people to help you in the future. You can't just take all the time. The whole you don't have to do crap for anyone is true, but live with no one ever wanting to help you if you act that way. Yeah. Nemesis Ghost answers that. This is what pisses me off about my brother. We are not in the way you are probably thinking. See, he refuses to let me pay for dinner, groceries, and we're hanging out together. Seriously, I have to body check him at the checkout so I can put my credit card in the machine. I'm willing to let him fix some seriously delicious smoked meats served with some best home cooking, but damn, let me pay for part of it because Lord knows I can't make that food good. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Trick Harry says she doesn't deserve a dinner. Tell her you need to relax that night. Yeah, we decided we're gonna relax with the kids that night. You can go do something else for that night. She doesn't deserve the dinner for sure. Andromeda Star Knight says, just say due to the unexpected daycare costs you were unable to host, actions have consequences. That's a good one too. By far says plus that you want that night to relax. Kieran says, don't say the problem is money if it wouldn't actually be solved by money. Someone could offer you money to resolve it, and then you're the one who acts like an a-hole if you still refuse. Pie Zombie says, $100 for every 30 minutes late. OP was in traffic bill. I doubt OP's sister would throw $800 over. Situation where she said, thinks she did nothing wrong. More than that because there seems to be multiple kids, but she wasn't billed to that full amount because mother-in-law picked up the kids. Again, maybe sister would or wouldn't, but maybe the parents would offer whatever the amount was to keep the peace between the siblings. Just don't lie about the problem. If being handed money would not make you change your mind, don't say it's because of money. That's a point. That's a good point. That's just lying, and people don't like to be lied to. This is from Overheard. It's entitled Overheard at Lunch. Gray suit guy. What do you mean you don't have a lawyer? Get a lawyer. Red silk shirt guy. I don't need a lawyer. It's open and shut. I'm fine. I'm right. Gray suit guy. You are right. Red silk shirt guy. Yeah, so I don't need a lawyer. I wrote a statement with AI and it's on Zoom. So if they ask me any questions about the law, I can just put it into AI and save a ton of money. Gray suit guy. So this is a money thing. Red silk shirt guy. Yes, of course. Gray suit guy. The cost of losing this suit so far outweighs the cost of hiring an attorney. Red silk shirt guy. I'm gonna win and not pay for an attorney. Best of both worlds. Silk shirt guys might be in trouble. Gray suit guy. There are low cost attorneys. You need representation. You don't know what you're doing. You have a real case and you need to present it properly, or they will eviscerate you. Red silk shirt guy. Nah, I know what I'm doing. I would like to hear the conclusion of this episode. Deleted says narrator. He did not know what he was doing. Ad Electrical says, first thing I thought of was that commercial Real Men of Genius. Danny X says, confidence is free, losing a lawsuit isn't. And if they have a lawyer and you don't have a lawyer, I've seen how that goes. Looking at legal stuff, I've seen how that goes. It's not pretty. They give a lot of leeway to it's mostly things you hopefully shouldn't need a lawyer for, like divorce and custody. But if one person has a lawyer and the other one doesn't, the judges do give very, very, very long leeway to the lawyerless parents and spouses. But when you got somebody doing that for you, it's way less hassle. You can tell because the guys just sit there. If they have to, if the judge has to ask a question, then they ask them, but otherwise, the lawyer handles all of it, and they know what they're doing, and the other spouse slash parent does not know what they're doing at all, and it shows. So, Taz lover, day of Zoom meeting. It was this moment that he knew he wanged up. Alma de Toro says, "What came to mind when keeping it real goes wrong?" Chappelle show. Everybody's hearing the narrator's Ron Howard. I think that has an Arrested Development thing, and I have not watched that, to be honest. Next, we have True Off My Chest, and it's entitled, "I told the mistress that she got the leftovers. She's not happy about that. Been married to my husband for 15 years. I have a great life, and I love everything about it. Has a great career, and I feel very spoiled. I only have to work with what I love, and it's that design jewelry, and the profit would never give me the life I'm living. I have not paid bills in years. I've spent my days in my studio working out or having fun with my friends. Our families are very close, and we have a big social circle that I love very much. He's great. He cooks and cleans with me. I never feel like I have to do more than him. He makes my favorite food every Friday, and he would drive at 3 a.m. If I was feeling down or wanted a burger or a candy. I want to believe that I'd do the same for him. Other than that, I cannot drive. Why can't you drive? I mean, I understand not having a job if you can't drive, but why can't you drive? Cheating on me was a mystery to me. I was in shock for a good long while, and I couldn't tell anyone because I didn't want my life to crumble. Then I got used to it. I let go of the love and just kept the friendship and companionship. I want my house, my travels, my family, and friends. Everything I have thanks to him. I got her Hey Girly last month, and I didn't even open it. It was on Instagram, but I didn't accept her invitation to speak. So she reached out on TikTok instead, and later I found a request on Facebook Messenger too. Then I don't know how, but she got my number and called me. Probably out of his phone, girl. Where do you think she got your number? I answered because I thought it was a buyer, and she cornered me. I froze, and she calmly told me to see what she had left on Instagram and TikTok, and I hung up in panic. So I opened her next hi girl text. I couldn't help but be confused. She pretended that she didn't know I existed when I seen all her texts about me. Haven't seen me when I know she has. I didn't read all of it, but I wrote her that I knew about the affair and that she could stop lying because I knew for a fact she knew he was married and to whom. She became very hostile very fast and told me if I was better, maybe he blah, blah, blah. You know the read. I told her that she could have my leftovers, the parts of him that I don't want, and according to her, neglected. I told her she could have his body and even his heart. I have the other more important things. I have half of everything else, and at least so the leftovers are truly hers. Congrats. She went berserk with insults, and I blocked her. I've been crying ever since. What does like her want when they contact the partner of their affair? I'm not looking for to leave him advice. My I love my life, and his love and sex don't matter to me anymore. Anyway, excuse my very big grammar. I'm trying to edit and correct when I find errors, but I don't really write a lot in English in my life. Yeah, she wants you to leave him. She wants to make sure you know so that you would leave him like a normal person. But you're not a normal person, and that's okay. If you can handle this, that's up to you. But that's what she wants. She wants you to leave him so she can have him, and despite the fact that he's never going to do that, almost never works out like that. And if it does, he cheated with you, he'll cheat on you. Feel free Fortuna says, "What do people like her want when affair? In this case, my guess would be that she wanted you to find out about the affair, get upset, repeatedly fight with your husband about it, and get divorced and leave him. Leave him to her. I'm assuming he had no intention of leaving you for her, so she went behind his back to force it." Eat around the rosy answers. Yeah, because she wants any material things OP has, but can't wait. We can't have it until OP divorces him. So that's her tactic, was to drive OP away, but it doesn't work. Zeus says, my wife's cousin had a long-term affair with a very wealthy dude who was clear about not leaving his wife. 5 years in, she wanted more and tried to force the issue by calling the wife, and she was not happy with the answer. Basically, she said, "I know, you're not the first, you won't be the last, and you're most likely not the only." We just for the rich answered, "LOL, messed up, but super funny. I like my stuff and you can't have it." Zeus answers again, "Totally messed up, but the dude lived in a total different world than most of us, and again, it was a messed up way. I got to kind of understand where the wife was coming from. I was visiting her around the time the new Defender came out. She saw one drive by and said, 'Hold on, I have to make a call.' Call the dude. I was like, 'Hey, I want this. Can you transfer enough over?' Zero hesitation, just, 'Yeah, sure. You want me to have so and so call the dealership or can you handle it?' On the same call, he asked her if he had a truck. He remembered buying one and driving it once, but forgot where he left it. She said he left it at the cabin in Whistler a year ago, and he was like, 'Oh, yeah, good to know. Hey, you should take your cousin up there while they're visiting.' That winging cabin had 12 bedrooms. Yeah, that's not normal. That's not a normal life. Ecstatic quote is the next top comment, and it says, "My best bet is she was looking to inform you of the affair in the hopes that you would accelerate a divorce in a row in the event he decides to leave you." He's not leaving her. He'd already done it. If you think this affair is more than just sex, it's actual love, he may be thinking about it using the old "I will leave my wife eventually, just not now." Get yourself as much proof of the affair as you can. Consult a lawyer to be prepared. Also, talk to your husband and tell him under no circumstances that you want her to try to reach you again. Have him deal with the crazy. Wish you all the luck, babe. Opie says, "Well, it must be more than just sex, or he would have slept with many others. He's very hot. I don't think he would have problems with just sex for many." Hot husband, but you're not having sex with him. That's kind of a bummer, to be honest. Next, we have from What Do I Do, entitled, "My friend might be dead and I don't know what to do." My friend texted me that life has no purpose and that it's now after midnight and he hasn't responded to any of my texts or calls if he was safe. He's a close friend of mine. We live in different countries, so I can't just go check on him. What do I do? I know I can't keep going if he's gone. Well, you can and you will. But first, you need to contact his local police and tell them to go check on him. Stormbrit Surfer says you can look up how to contact the emergency services in his county, explain to them the situation, and ask for a wellness check. If you're not sure how, let me know the country and I will try to help. I hope he's okay. You must be so worried. Sending good thoughts. Overspace answers, I did this with an ex in Germany in 2020. We parted on good terms and kept talking when he moved back to the UK. It was unusual that he wouldn't reply to texts, not picking up calls. Called the local police for a welfare check and they told me he had died. He had a massive heart attack and they found him on the stairs. His daughter told me the details later. I don't think he would have been upset that I called the emergency services if he had been okay. Everyone deserves someone that can check on them when things don't seem right. Exactly. That's horrible. My husband had a situation at work where a guy didn't show up for work. He had a meeting that morning, so he would definitely have showed up for work. Instead of contacting the local police or whatever, instead of asking for a local check from the authorities, I guess I want to say, they sent two of their coworkers out to his house to make sure he was okay. And they found him car running in the driveway, and he had had a massive heart attack, passed away in the driveway on his way to work. So he was intending to go to work to go to that meeting. Very hard on them. Next top comment is, I have a zoo. And she says, I've been in this situation before. I was able to find his parole officer in the state, and he went out to do a wellness check. He was okay. It made our friendship weird for a while, but I would do it again every time. Timely Being says, better to have a friend mad at you than dead. This is true. And the third top rated comment is from Professional T. Try finding a family member. If you are on Facebook with him, then go through his contacts and message everyone you can. Other than that, what others have said. good option. Next, we have entitled parents, and it is entitled, my parents treat me, my adulthood like a temporary phase, and I expect me to prioritize them over my own life. Your parents stink. I'm sorry. I'm male 36, married, no kids. My parents act like they don't interfere, but in practice, they act like my life is still a project, a shared project they get a final say in. They don't yell or threaten, it's more subtle than that. It's the assumptions. They assume I'll be available when I need them. They assume I'll adjust my plans if something comes up for them. They assume my wife and I will coordinate our lives around their expectations because that's how it's always been. When those assumptions aren't met, the disappointment is immediate and heavy. The most recent issue started when my dad told me he volunteered to help me with a family obligation that would take up most of the weekend and cost me some money. He didn't just ask at first, he says, I told them you'd handle it. Don't voluntold your kids like that. I'd never voluntold my kids like that. How you handle that situation is like, my son could do that. Let me contact him and see if he's available. And normally he would drop something and probably do it, unless he was like out of town or something. When I said I couldn't commit without talking to my wife and checking our schedule, he went quiet. Later, my mom called and said she doesn't recognize me anymore. Okay, why shouldn't your son check with his wife and see if they have anything planned that he either forgot about or was unaware of? Because that happens sometimes. People forget to tell people things, people forget they have stuff on their calendar. Heck, I'd forget my head if it wasn't attached. She said I used to be reliable and that marriage has made me distant. The word distant comes up a lot whenever I don't instantly comply. I explained that my priorities are different now and that my wife and I plan our time and finances together. My mom responded with, we're family too. Like that should override everything else. There was no curiosity about my situation, just hurt feelings that I wasn't defaulting to yes. That's just bizarre. As a mom, that's bizarre. Like, yes, he should be consulting with his wife. That's his priority person right now. That'll be his priority person probably as long as you're alive, unless you drive her away for some reason with your stupid attitude. Not OPs, his parents. What messes with narrative flips? I'm not setting a boundary, I'm abandoning them. I'm not being thoughtful, I'm being selfish. My dad later sent a message about how stress is bad for my mom's health and how he hoped I could live with myself if something happened to her. Yes, I will live with myself just fine because I'm not stressing her out, she's stressing herself out. My line sat in my chest for days. I started replaying the conversation, wondering if I'd been harsh or cold, even though all I'd done was say no. And no is a complete sentence and it should be accepted. This isn't new either. Growing up, being a good son meant being easy and agreeable. I was praised for being mature, which really meant not pushing back. That role followed me into adulthood so seamlessly that I didn't notice how much resentment was building until recently. My wife sees it clearly and supports me. I hate that my parents' expectations are bleeding into our life. I don't want to choose sides. I just want my adulthood to be taken seriously. I'm tired of feeling like I have to justify every decision that doesn't center them. I also don't want to cut contact or blow things up. I want a normal adult relationship where help is requested, not assumed. Moral failure. Is this the entitlement, emotional manipulation, or just generational gap? I'm handling it badly. No, it's not a generational gap. Your parents are emotionally manipulating you. How do you hold your ground without becoming the ungrateful son in their story? You say no. You say no and you mean no. And you should have started this before you got married. You should have started this as soon as you were out of the house. No, I can't help you. No, I'm sorry. I'm busy. No, I'm sorry. I'm spending time with my wife. No, I'm sorry. Like, I don't expect my kids to jump when I say how high. I ask them, hey, can you do this? Sometimes they say yes. Sometimes it's, you said you're going to do that. When are you going to do it? But no, you don't voluntold them for other people. That's ridiculous. You never do that with anyone, much less your kids. Come on. What are we doing here? And OP needs therapy. He needs therapy because his parents have been doing this his whole life, it sounds like. Evil Cookie says, Evil cookie? What's an evil cookie? Oh, no, it's a macaroon. Macaroons are evil. I don't like any cookie that has a coconut in it. No, that's evil. Okay. Macaroon. No, I'm kidding. Evil Cookie says, "Don't fall for their guilt trips. Your mom is not so fragile that a little bit of stress will hurt her. I doubt this will get any better until you set some clear boundaries and they're not doing anything, they think they're doing nothing wrong, and it will stay that way until you force them to reevaluate how they treat you. It might get ugly for a bit, but you need to stay strong. Make it clear to them that you are willing to help, but only after you have been asked if you're available. When they try to rope you into things, say no, even if you would have time to do it." The second top rated comment is from Ultimate Sleeper. And they say, "My husband has the same problem when we started getting really serious. His brother actually is really mean to him over his choice to put his wife first. You should be putting your spouse first above family, yes, because they are your number one family is your spouse. Second, your kids if you have them. Maybe third, your parents. I don't know. Maybe your sister's third. Parents don't have to be third. Parents can be fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever, depending on how they treat you." They're trying to manipulate you and you aren't following what they want to do at the drop of a dime. That's not something they're used to. Your father sending those messages wanted you to get upset. That was his goal due to your declining to help. The only advice I can give you is how you want to live your life and go from there. Would you rather establish boundaries now and deal with some of the fallout, or would you rather bend to their will at a moment's notice and to not feel uncomfortable when they react at a no? The time of setting boundaries for his family, my husband, was not quick or easy process, but we've been together 9 years now, and his family know his boundaries. They decide if they decide to forget randomly and get upset because he can't do something at their very notice, we would look at them crazy. JCK says, "I wouldn't be surprised if it was the mother using the father's phone and sending the text messages. The father's probably verbally abused by the mother and just accustomed to it, unfortunately." Third top priority comment is not taking it anymore. Not taking it anymore. Says, "We're family too." Yes, but you're extended family now. My first priority is my wife. That's how it's going to grow up works. And she put that in quotes, of course. Seriously, though, your dad always put his mother and father first before your mom. Or is this a rule that only you have to follow? And she quotes, "My dad later sent a message about how stress is bad for my mother's health and how he hoped I could live with myself if something happened to her." It's a ridiculous statement. Like, if your wife is in that bad of health, maybe she should be in a home. Um, then she should probably not do things that stress her out, including picking fights with you. Not being able to handle stress doesn't give her carte blanche to mistreat people and then claim that they can't refuse to be mistreated because it would be bad for her health. That's ridiculous. Exactly. Put it in much better words than I would. This is entitlement, emotional manipulation, or just a generation gap I'm handling badly. Badly part, you're handling as well as you can in spite of the guilt they've installed you. As Carol Hacks described, easy installation. One, set expectations. Two, withhold love when expectation isn't met. Three, repeat. Enjoy life guilt. Enjoy lifetime guilt supply. It's not all of the above. This is not a generation gap. It's not a generational gap thing at all. It's entitlement and emotional manipulation, but not. It this doesn't happen in every family, so it's not a generational thing. I want to be. I want to be a normal adult relationship where help is requested, not assumed, and no, it doesn't turn into a moral failure. And they say, "I don't think this is possible. OP, I'm sorry. In my experience, parents who view the to be used rather than individuals to be loved don't usually have the emotional capacities that self-reflect and change for the better. If you have access to counseling services, I would highly recommend them. A good therapist who specializes in dysfunctional family dynamics can help you navigate the situation. You may never be able to convince your parents that you are not an ungrateful son or living a life that doesn't revolve around their whims. But you can learn to live with and even laugh at the absurdity of the idea that you're the villain in their story because you grew up. Good luck, OP. The the Howie answers, I too would like to know if the grandparents are still in the picture. Yeah, this is this a generational thing? If it's not, it's not a generational thing. And highly doubt it's a generational thing. Now we have oh no consequences, and it says, oops, the girlfriend dumps him on the first day of their vacation and then tries to act like she didn't when he starts to move on. That's weird. This was originally in relationships. Titled My Girlfriend, 25 female, broke up with me, 28 male, on the first day of our vacation. Original post May 10th, 2016. My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, I guess, and I just arrived at our resort today, and we broke up in the airport before we even took off. Holy cow. That's rough. The whole point of the trip was to get away so we could get our relationship happy again without dealing with work stress. But she gave me yet another ultimatum, and I called her bluff, and she broke up with me. You didn't call her bluff. She followed through, didn't she? That's not calling a bluff, honey. She hasn't been in the hotel room, but I know she's going to want to get back together. And I don't think I want to, but yeah, now we're stuck in a hotel room together for a week. So what do I do? How do I make this not awkward? I don't want to fight with her, but I can, I don't think I want to get back together. And we live together, so we have to deal with that when we get home. Relevant comments. Yet another ultimatum. What do you mean you called her bluff? How often does this sort of thing happen? What was the vacation supposed to achieve? Did you even get on the plane? Well, OP says she just gave me an ultimatums for everything that she wants, and I'm sick of it. This one was about how if I didn't ask someone to switch seats so we could sit together, we'd break up. Okay, she may be asking a bit too much. It's always stupid, petty crap, so she can get her way. She does it all the time. I got on because I paid for it, so I wanted to come. I'm on number 2. So why are you with her? OOP says I'm not anymore. The trip was supposed to be last effort to fix things, but I just don't think she's worth it anymore. Hmm, okay, that's fair. Um, Also, the not sitting together is hilarious to me. And her ultimatum for not sitting together is for the solution to the not sitting together is ridiculous. But it wasn't he didn't call her bluff. She actually broke up with him because he did not want to switch seats. What are we even doing here? I don't know. Commenter 3, I know if I throw money at her, her fundamental personality will change irrevocably. I don't get this mindset. A vacation is not life-thinging shared therapy. OOP, lesson learned. She really hates her job, so I thought being away from it would make her happy, but I guess not. Commenter 4, is there no call your airline and see if they can move you back a few days. If you can't, go out, have fun, get another room, bang anyone who wants to bang you. You're single now, act like it. Seriously though, get another room in another hotel if possible. I 100% agree with that. Since you are adamant that you are done with this relationship, good decision by the way. It is better you get as far away from her as possible, lest things get more awkward. OOP, they can move my flight, but it's really way expensive, so I'd rather not move it. I'll see if I can get another room. Kind of sucks paying for 2 rooms, though. I wish I could kick her out of mine. Would that be wrong? No. She broke up with you. You're on your own, girlie. You better go figure it out. You got a credit card. You got a job. You're good. Go. Can OOP get a different room other than the original room reservation? OOP, I wonder if that would be legal. I tried to switch rooms. Hopefully they have something available. Girlfriend still hasn't checked in. And then he says, I called and they said I would have to get another room for myself and I can't just switch or take her name off since she made the reservation, even though I paid. She can afford it, I think. Commenter 5, she's going to come crawling back to you by the end of the night, wanting to be with you on vacation. Let her know what the wang is good and keep calling her bluff. She ended the relationship over some BS, so let her deal with the consequences of it. OOP, she already did. I was talking to someone I met and she interrupted to ask me to come with her where she asked me to apologize so we can move on. Oh no, girly. Oh no. Did OOP pay for the entire vacation? Can the ex afford to pay for her own? OOP, yeah, I paid for the whole thing. I probably won't cancel though. I'm not sure how much she could pay for on her own. Where is OOP vacationing at the time and can he leave the resort? OOP, probably I'm in the Dominican Republic, although everyone says not to leave the resort. Can OOP move out of his place after he gets back home? OOP says, I own the house, so I'm not moving out. So she's got to also figure out uh, accommodations for herself when she gets home. May 16, 2016, 10 days later. Link to the OP. You should read it, or I will look like an ass in this post. um, yeah, I don't know. It's the same post. Um, I wanted to update my shitty, my crappy vacation. The first day was really bad. I stuck to the hotel room for most of it. And when I finally did go out, she tried to start fights to get me to stop talking to people because she thought I was going to cheat on her. Ma'am, he cannot cheat on you. You are not his girlfriend. You are not his girlfriend. You broke up with him. He ain't gonna cheat on you because he ain't cheating. You are on a break. Sorry, I laugh at my own dumb jokes. The front desk person found me another room, and that was a huge upgrade, so I moved there for the rest of the trip to avoid my girlfriend. I guess she didn't stay in the old room either, so I'm not sure who ends up paying for that, but I was expecting a huge bill for the crap she charged to the room. It was pretty awkward, but I did my best to have a good time. I met a ton of people, and it was easy to make friends since everybody thought the situation was hilarious. It is. My girlfriend never went too far. She would approach me a couple times every day and try to work things out so we can enjoy our vacation. Ma'am, I'm enjoying my vacation. I don't know about you and why you keep following me. You are just somebody I used to know. She kept an eye on me the whole time. When I wouldn't talk with her, she tried to start a fight, and a couple times she actually screamed at me in front for everyone to hear. After that, it became clear that I was moving on, and she stopped bugging me, and she flew out a couple of days early. I ended up spending most of my time with a group that was there for a wedding and even attended the ceremony. I'd rate it a 7 out of 10 vacation, all things considered. Good for you. I feel a bit bad about how crappy her trip was. I just did some crap just to piss her off that probably wasn't necessary. I was hoping that she would get mad enough to move out of my house before I got home, but she's still living here with me, and now I'm living in my own basement just to avoid her. I did give her an eviction notice, but 1 month is far too long to be living with an ex. My dogs have been staying with my friends so I can make sure she doesn't try to take them or something. But her staying here has really wanged up everything. Relevant comments. Can OOP stay with a friend until his ex move out? OOP, I could, but I'm worried about my house and stuff. I moved everything I could down to the basement, so the upstairs is pretty bare bones. I'm trying to make her as uncomfortable as possible to speed up the process. Commenter 2. Man, she sounds like a piece of work. She's the one that broke up with you, so but also don't want you to have fun. I'm glad you were able to have a good time regardless, though. Good luck with the living situation. Is the place yours or hers? He already said that was his. How much longer do you have to live with her? Oh, okay. I don't think she actually wanted to break up. I called her ultimatum, and she's just stubborn enough to follow through. But she was begging me to get back together after, and I would just need to apologize to her to make it work. It's my house. I own it, and her name isn't on anything. She has until mid-June to leave, but I'm hoping she will move out June 1st. OOP gives examples of ex's ultimatum she gave him. OOP, it's hard to remember. She told me to stop working out so much or we would break up, and it was only every day, other day for an hour or two. That is not that much time. She said if I went to the beach wearing basketball shorts instead of a swimsuit, we would break up because you can see my there's a word for that. My outline, the outline would show. Wasn't just an ultimatum though. There was a lot wrong with our relationship. Commenter 2. Why does she get a whole month to move out? Because that's the law. Does OOP know what legal steps to take if the ex doesn't move out? OOP, I don't, but my lawyer friend does. Always good to have a lawyer friend. Make friends with a lawyer. Highly recommended. Commenter 3 sounds to me like the breaking up was never supposed to be permanent. She was just using it as a way to get complete control of the relationship, i.e., she wanted you to come crawling and begging on your hands and knees, telling her you would do anything to get her back, and by doing it on vacation, she figured you would have no choice but to accept her power play. And when you basically told her to wing right off, she lost her crap and decided you weren't going to enjoy your vacation if she wasn't. And when that didn't work, she just bailed early. Talk about dodging a bullet. OOP says yes, she didn't want to actually break up. Breaking up destroyed her plans for getting married and having babies, and that's all she wanted these days. Did OOP do something crazy to mess with his ex? OOP, nothing crazy. Says my girlfriend's following me around. One of the bridesmaids offered to pretend to go to my hotel room with me to make my girlfriend jealous, so I took her up on it. We ended up actually hooking up and were purposely handsy with each other for the rest of the vacation. I love it. I love this for OP. Commenter 4. So you're coming out of controlling a relationship by hiding in your basement? This seems like a great time to practice standing up for yourself. Don't be a doormat, especially now that you are no longer invested. OOP, well, I can't kick her out illegally for job reasons, and all my crap is locked up in the basement, so I know she doesn't wing with it. So I have no reason to go upstairs. It sucks, but it's the best way to do things. Your ex moves out to protect yourself against any false allegations. That's a good idea. You your ex sounds like a piece of work who can do some pretty stupid things. If she files a police report with false accusations and gets a protection order, you will not be able to enter your own house, and she will be able to live there for a long, long time, depending on state eviction process, may take months to years. OOP, that's probably a good idea. And no no more updates. Yeah, okay. No updates since then. OP, update us. We want to know. We want to know what happened. Did you get rid of her? I hope so. Mildly infuriating, the manual for this Foreo says to throw it in the garbage after the battery dies. Inside is a regular AAA battery. Here's the evidence for this. They opened it up, regular battery. What the heck? The manual tells you how to remove the battery before disposing of the device. It doesn't tell you that you can replace this. It's so freaking wasteful. Of course, I replaced it. It's working for now. What's a Foreo anyway? A sleep yogurt says checks price dies. Okay, well now we got to find out what a freaking Foreo is. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is? Can someone in the comments tell me what it is? No. Okay. It looks like it's just a red, one of those stupid red light things. But I'm pretty sure they are expensive. I don't see the exact one. Yeah, this one looks pretty close. Where are they? They have a bunch of pictures and stuff, but I don't know. Kind of looks like it. That was only $50, $60 for the little tiny thing. Yeah, this looks like it. This one kind of looks like it. Rhino pink. Yeah, I found it. I think. Why is it not? So where's the prices, man? Okay, I know. It's $139. That's insanity. Yeah, that's insanity. They want you to buy a new one when the battery expires. That's crazy. Hundreds of dollars for a silicone brush and a toothbrush motor. Glyph Production says hundreds of dollars and is not sold as reusable, rechargeable. We need the EU standards. This thing should be required to be sold and marketed as rechargeable. It should most certainly be just USB-C. I cannot imagine a AA battery lasting more than a month or so. Single-use electronic devices need to go. Yeah, depends on the device. Shiny Zippo says, how else are you supposed to tell you to buy another one? The rechargeable models are double the price. I don't know. Maybe I was looking at the rechargeable. Well, that's weird. Okay, we're not doing that one then. Trying to get pro-life hacks, but that's not a good one. Oh, maybe it is. Oh, that's promoted. Never mind. I must have winged up. I must have winged up. I'm sorry. Am I overreacting? Hold on. Let's go see how badly I did. Tuesday. Okay. No, I didn't wing up. Okay. I don't know how that got in there. That's really weird. Oh, okay. Take that right out. Okay. Sorry about that. That was weird. I don't know how that got in there. I didn't seem to be missing anything. I don't think. What the hell? What are you? No. Yeah, okay. No, I didn't miss anything. Just double checking, making sure. Okay. Next is Am I Overreacting? And it's entitled AIO, Pregnant and Feel Abandoned by Husband. So there's a text. It says, I need a nap so bad, but the baby won't let me. Is there any opportunity that I can nap? Please, I need it so bad can't keep my eyes open. The second you wake up, can you please, please, please come massage my neck for a few minutes? I had the roughest night of my life, and I'm in such I need a partner right now. And he answers, dude, I'm not doing good. I had a super rough night. I have crap from work, so no. I mean, I'm entitled to say no, but you could be nicer about it. Am I overreacting? I'm 35 weeks pregnant and my son 21 months, and I caught a virus this week, throwing up. You know the drill. I'm fatigued from not being able to eat. I'm anemic and I'm extremely exhausted from pregnancy. No, he should have come. He should have, like, mm, that's when you don't go to work and you take care of your family. I've been taking care of my son when my husband works from home. My husband slept in two different bedrooms. He snores and I'm a light sleep. My husband and I sleep in two different bedrooms. He snores and I'm a light sleeper. Can relate. Haven't slept with my husband for 30 years. Yeah, my son's 30 years. It happens. It's fine. It's fine. We we're perfect. Don't worry about us. Well, perfect would be. We're as near perfect as you can get. No, we have has nothing to do with it. Also, a close sleep with my son since lifting him in and out of the crib and all night is too difficult with my belly. He has never slept through the night, and I have some placenta complications, so I'm not supposed to be lifting him. My husband said he would start taking my son at night so that my son can become more comfortable in crib so we can start preparing for the new baby arrives. Which okay, he's 21 months old. See, this is why 2 years is um, not a good separation for kids. 3 years is good. 3-year-olds typically sleep through the night. Even at 2 years, they might not, but 3 years typically will sleep through the night. Um, and they can help. Some 2-year-olds can follow directions, most can't. um, New baby arrives, which I will 100% be my own for night feeding since I'm breastfeeding. However, he always has an excuse on why he can't take them at night. He's too tired. He got bad sleep last night, doesn't want to get sick, and I'm already sick, etc. I'm to the point of my pregnancy where it's very difficult to get comfortable at night. Really bad heartburn, round ligament pain, hip pain, back pain. Yeah, I know that. I had hip pain with all of mine. But I'm still expected to do it. Last night I had to get up 3 times to change my toddler's diarrhea diaper and 4 times to give him Pedialyte. Between that, I couldn't sleep due to my own discomforts of pregnancy. My neck is now extremely stiff from a rough night I had. So I sent him this text, and this was his response. I said nothing in my response, but bawled my eyes out privately. I'm told I'm too emotional when I'm pregnant, and I'm just being emotional and dramatic. Or am I really alone? Or all men this way, and it's just my man? No, not all men are that way. A lot of men are that way, but not all of them. Archie says, "Honey, this was me in 1997 with 2 babies under 18 months old. Oof. Those babies just took me in while I finally left their father 2 months ago. When they tell you who they are, believe them, not overreacting." Siren Ariel says, "Can you tell my mom to do that?" Large Street says, "Honey, that comment hurt my heart." Um, Minsora says, "Jesus girl, no men aren't this way. I'm sorry that people in your life have trained you into accepting, marrying, having children with trash. You need to stop accepting this and start putting your foot down. That is his child too. It is. Both of them are his children." Um, I know when the kids were sick, I don't do well with bodily fluids, like especially diarrhea and most especially vomit. Oh, just thinking about them makes me gag. Um, my husband would take care of them. He would hand me he would take all of the bedding off the bed because kids will throw up in their bedding. They're little kids, they can't help it. Pick up all the bedding, hand it to me very gingerly, and I would take it to the laundry and start the laundry, start it washing, and then he would take care of the kid to the shower or whatever they needed to do and he would remake the bed. So no, not all men are like this. Jesus, no, not no men are like this. I'm so oh, I already did that. Disco Beef says, "As a very involved father of 3, I second this. Do not ask, tell him to make your needs heard." Wild Satisfaction says, "As a very involved father of 2, I second this strongly. He needs to stop acting selfish and start prioritizing you. When we had her first, I did all the night diapers as she did the breastfeeding. When our second was on the way, it took me I took it up on me to do the majority of the chores and care for our 2-year-old. Dads like this piss me off. Edit, thank for all the kind messages and awards. Excellent Buffalo says, it sounds like your husband hates you. I'm a man and I don't know anyone who'd treat their partner like this. He's a piece of crap. Mad I'm at Mad Money. Mad I'm Ad Money. Mad I'm Ad Money. Those who hate you could pretend to love you, but those who love you would never pretend to hate you. That's a good little quote. Deleted commenter says is the third top rated comment. So I'm a single mom and when I was with my exes, life is so much easier now that I'm raising kids myself. Your nervous system needs to heal and you need to realize what you're worth and you deserve. This is ain't it. You will A, find someone better or B, stay single in peace. Both options are winner because you're with a loser. He doesn't deserve you or those babies, NOR at all. You're underreacting. If you want to try and make things work, please don't do it for the kids. Do it for you. If he doesn't get massively better, then take these babies and find peace. It seems hard, but us single moms do it every day and don't look back. What seems hard to me is people pinning up in crap relationships. Yeah. Next is Server Life, and it's entitled Parents Bring Food to Restaurants and I'm Mortified. What do I say or do? My parents want to go to a restaurant, but don't like to pay, so they order the cheapest appetizer on the menu and ask for baskets of bread and bring their own food in. They treat restaurants like a picnic table. You let the restaurant handle it. Yes, my mom and dad will pull out a grocery store sub sandwich at dinner, plop it on the table, split it, and start eating. That's what I got from my mom. It's private, very private here, so do you mind if we bring a sub sandwich restaurant redacted on Saturday? Yes, I do mind. The only thing that works if I pay. Sometimes not even that. It's also annoying as heck to foot the bill every time we go out. Yeah, your parents should be paying for you to go out, and this is weird behavior. If I leave a good tip on the table, they will go back and take the tip and leave a smaller one. I have to actually hand the tip to the server. Once I give the server a 50 in front of them just to make a point if looks could kill. I've resorted to simply not eating with them. That's good. You shouldn't be. How bad does this rank in the etiquette scale? Like a 0 out of 10. What would Emily Post or William Hanson say? Is there anything else I can do? Thank you. Exasperated in New Jersey. You see it. You saw. No, you set your boundaries. You decide what you're going to do, and they can continue their behavior, but you won't eat with them. And you can say, I'm not going to pay for it. And if you bring food inside, I'm going to leave. And then you follow through with that. All you have to do is follow through a couple times, I'll stop it. Lizard's Skin Cuisine says, in my state, it's against code to have outside food and establish it. So not only is it extremely rude, it puts a business at risk. LP says that may be true, but it sure as hell doesn't. Wang off Wang says, I can't believe staff don't say anything. Yeah, I can't believe that either. That's crazy. Hazard Store says, I don't understand how restaurants are allowing this. Pretty much every restaurant has obvious no outside food or beverage rule. I have to ask people to throw out their coffees or leave them in the car all the time, but your parents are getting away with full sandwiches? That's just absolutely would not fly at my place. I'm shocked they pulled this off more than once. Minxid says, yeah, as a manager, I'm very strict about this. I don't want to deal with the paperwork and investigation involved if your outside food somehow contaminates my chain of custody. OP says they know the restaurants that let it slide. Shadow Rue says, why do it in the first place? Eat at home. Yeah, go get your appetizer. Go buy your appetizer and take it home. Jupiter Skyfall says, why do you accompany them? And OP says, because I love my parents. I want to see them. Going out for a meal is typically a good way to do this, but this trashy behavior is intolerable. Landra says, maybe suggest going on an actual picnic or doing something different entirely than getting food. Chef Cedilla says, go show them this thread. Maybe they'll believe you that this behavior is insane. I still say they should take the food home. Whatever you were going to buy, take it home. Next, we have confession. It is entitled, When I was in my late teens to early 20s, I was a houseboy. When I was in my early 20s, I was a poor student at UCLA. I found a job that required me to do chores for a healthy couple in their early 40s. In exchange, I would have a room and board on their Hancock Park home. Is that a wealthy area? I don't know. Everything started out pretty normal. Within a few months, I was positioned to be a part-time boyfriend to his wife as he was away on business trips, to a full-time relationship with her till I finished grad school. They never had any children and grew apart. They decided to stay together. The guy had a girlfriend in China and she had me. She was an attractive woman for her age and treated me well. They ended up paying for my undergrad tuition as well as graduate school at USC. Now I have my own business, married with two teenagers, one in college and one in high school. No one knows about that. I don't think I would ever gotten to this point in my life without them. I left on good terms. Both of them thank me I left the job. I even got a 100K bonus to start my own business. You sound like nice people, actually. I mean, nothing here was wrong. I swear I've seen this before, and it was more than 16 days ago. Dr. Superfly says, Lord, I've seen what you've done for other people. I wanted that done for me. OP says, it's all about customer service. It's what my business is built on. Kinda Cray says, back in the 90s, there were ads out for houseboys, and one of my buddies answered them. It was for an older gay gentleman, and I told my friend that he'd be doing more than helping out an old man. He specifically wanted a male because I tried to apply. Fanny Fox says, is this a repost? It was something very similar. See, I told you, it was posted recently. Didn't the husband try and finger you or something? It's similar to one that was posted recently. The author says, I figure out mostly houseboy stories are going to be basically the same thing, though. The only real change is going to be the gender of the customer. Best Redder updates. My employee has hypochondria and is annoying all his coworkers. This was originally posted to Ask a Manager, and it was July 10th, 2017. My employee has hypochondria and is annoying all his coworkers. A reader writes, I have an employee who has hypochondria and health anxiety named Ronald. I have a question about balancing between being sensitive to him and to his colleagues and all my other employees. Some of the other people on my team have health issues or have family members with health issues. I realize Ronald sincerely believes he has health issues, but he doesn't really have them. Well, I don't think that's up to you to decide. To give an example, one of my team members has a heart condition and recently needed to have ablation surgery. So they have AFib because that's the treatment for AFib. She reminded me that she would be having surgery and would not be able to attend a certain meeting. Not long after, Ronald, who sits next to her, collapsed at his desk saying he had chest pain. An ambulance called, and naturally everyone was concerned about him. Happened a second time a month later. After I asked Ronald how he was doing, he told me that extensive testing for the cardiologist and a second opinion found nothing wrong, even though he is sure he had 2 heart attacks. Sir, if you had 2 heart attacks, you would know, because they would tell you. Another one of my employees had skin cancer removed last summer. She was fortunate that it had not spread to her lymph nodes, so she didn't need treatment beyond it being cut out. She said it did come with a bandage over the wound while it healed. Ronald was telling people he had cancer and he was going to see an oncologist. Again, later on, he told me he had tested negative for cancer by 2 separate doctors, but was seeking a third opinion. Ronald sounds like a joy. We have no HR department, but Ronald has given me letters from a physician and a therapist about his hypochondria diagnosis. Since he has worked here, he has used every day of allotted sick days and vacation days for doctor's appointments and often requests unpaid days off. You can't really tell him no. His colleagues are fed up with hearing Ronald say he has health issues when he doesn't. My report about Ronald telling her and everyone else he had cancer when he didn't, especially when she had surgery for cancer. Ronald told another colleague who has a parent with dementia that he thinks he has dementia too. Ronald is in his 20s with none of the symptoms because he once forgot about a meeting he was supposed to go to. Oh, that's just ADHD, honey. Understandably, the colleague got very upset with Ronald's behavior. Ronald has called out at the last minute more than once because he thought he was sick and dying and needed to go to the hospital. I've not disclosed his hypochondria or health anxiety to anyone, but his colleagues still think he's faking it to get attention for other reasons or for other reasons. His general physician and his therapist all say he's not faking because he truly believes he has these illnesses. I understand why his colleagues are upset, and I want to balance everything to be sensitive and fair to both of them and Ronald, but I'm having trouble accomplishing this. What should I be doing to make sure this happens? Allison's response omitted, although she in comments noted that Ronald's condition may fall under the ADA and the OOP should consult an employment lawyer. That's a good idea. Update 1, ask a manager, August 3rd, 2017, a month later. Your answer to my question was great. I'm in the process of speaking to my boss and consulting with an employment lawyer. Thanks for publishing my question, and I appreciate how you were thoughtful and polite and helpful and how helpful you were when you answered. You're right. A lawyer doesn't need to be lawyer does need to be consulted. I was already thinking about it, and it was great to hear you confirm it. Just to update on what has happened since I emailed in my question. Okay, so Ask a Manager is a newspaper column, I believe. My report who had melanoma resigned from her job without another job offer, and in her exit interview, she said it was because of Ronald's continued actions. The employee who had the ablation asked to move to another desk away from him, and other employees had started to avoid Ronald unless absolutely necessary. Will only speak to him about stuff that's related to work. And that's their right. If they want to ostracize him, that's their right. I have been doing my best to support Ronald while understanding the frustration of my other employees. Our company is not eligible for FMLA, and although Ronald has disclosed his hypochondria to me, he has not asked for any other accommodation besides understanding about all the sick time he takes. Other update, Ask a Manager, December 14th, 2017, 4 months later. I have another final update for you. After I wrote with my update, things did not get any better. My other employees refused to interact with Ronald unless it was necessary from work. I made sure to keep tabs on the situation, making sure he was not being bullied, but he reported no hostility or abuse, just everyone avoiding him. We were already in the process of speaking to a lawyer when the situation took a turn. Ronald was involuntarily hospitalized due to his mental health. It started when he heard a news story about how the plague was happening in Madagascar. Plague happens everywhere, even in the US, just so you know. Stay away from the groundhogs. One of my other employees who had traveled there 3 years ago, Ronald started telling everyone she brought the plague back with her and had given it to him. Yeah, that's not cool. Even though it had been 3 years and none of them had symptoms. He had to be sent home because he was causing so much disruption. He stopped coming into work altogether, and then a few weeks went by, and we were unsuccessful in contacting him. I was later contacted by a relative of his as well as a lawyer. He told me Ronald had been committed for the time being with proof provided by the lawyer. Ronald had gone to several hospitals claiming to have the plague. He also put up a yellow caution tape around his door to his apartment and refused to listen to reason. He wouldn't leave his apartment for fear of spreading the plague and tried to contact the government over it. We let Ronald go after consulting with our lawyer as well as the one his relative had put us in touch with. If the time ever comes when Ronald can return to workforce, the company will confirm his employment dates and that he left due to a health issue while being neutral on the subject of his work, as agreed to by Ronald's lawyer. I only wish Ronald the best and hope he gets the help he needs. A replacement has been hired and everything has gone back to normal. MMR Blackledge says, this was posted pre-pandemic, wondered how Ronnie did with the old 2020. Yeah, so that's kind of scary thought, for sure. Bold Move Boimler says, you know that COVID winged that guy something fierce a few years later. Cinemag says, hopefully he was in intensive therapy and by the time the COVID happened, he had his condition somewhat under control. I have faith in him. The This is from Made Me Smile, and it's entitled W Sis. Um, in 2015, oh, that's kind of cool. In 2015, my brother passed away at the age of 10 from a heart condition called hypertrophic cardio, cardiomyopathy. 6 years later, I've just submitted my master's dissertation. Researches the genetic causes of the same. I hope you'd be proud of me, Max. I'm sure Max is. I'm positive he is. 100%. Mean Cup of Joey says, I didn't expect to see my condition here today. What an incredible sister. Good luck to her. Wooden Rabbit says, same. I'm grateful that people like her are studying it. We have more treatment options and there's surgery now, thanks to that. Shrug says, I have life-saving surgery for that back in February of 2020. My heart was pumping 17% of the blood that went into it, in great contrast to a healthy person who should be around 60 to 80%. This means I would black out during exertion. A flight of stairs left me looking for a wall or other solid surface to lean on to wait for my vision to come back. It wasn't until 2020 when I finally got seen after my ex called an ambulance for me because I had fainted in the bathroom, and she'd have enough of me constantly being told I was unfit whenever I went to see doctors and GPs. I went to see 6 doctors over 10 years. All of them just told me to get fit. Anyway, once in the hospital, they saw just how bad my condition was, and I probably only had 5 weeks to live at the rate the muscle was growing. Because of the extra work it was doing to keep me upright was causing it to grow more and more, compounding the effects. In the end, they had to fly in a surgery from Australia who shaved out 3.2 centimeters of muscle from the inside of my heart, and now I have no issues running, hiking, winging, etc. My life is good, lads. The best part was that my surgery happened on the 27th of February 2020, meaning my recovery was timed perfectly with COVID. Yeah. Arnie says running, hiking, winging. This gave me a. They say this gave me a double blink. Well, that's a good story. All right, that's all we got. Um, I'm gonna go watch that video of the guy getting beat up by the girls. I'm gonna get on another. I'm gonna get on another user though, so I can watch it. All right, that's all I got. Y'all have a good day. You all. And I have to say that because the burb told me to. I got to do my Finch stuff. Bye. Love you. Bye. Bye. Bye.